here in the Ingalls studio. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Today is an Overreaction Monday, and what a weekend we had in the NFL. It's one of those weekends where you go, you think you got it all figured out, right?
There was one guy that I did okay.
You did okay. You did okay. There were still some things that we still look at in week one and go, is the NFL drunk?
Well, compared to you and Asheville Police Chief David Zack, I look like the one. Beat the Chief, reigning champion. Doesn't matter what happens tonight. The Jets could fail to show up and still win.
That's right.
So let's go.
That's right. Got 8 out of 6 against the spread this weekend. Did Jeremy? I was 6 and 8. Chief was 5 and 9. And he's got the Bills tonight, and Jeremy and I both have the New York Jets. So at worst, Jeremy, you're going to have a two-game lead in the Beat the Chief after week 1. Our battle for the belt, we have our weekly finishers. The standard contest, Grand Fan
smoked us
just
like
dogged
a
everybody.
deli meat.
40-point win, more than 40-point win for Grand Fan. Extreme Days was second place, and Chris Smathers finished in third.
Smathers runs the double dip because he won the Eliminator week.
Well, that's right. And then Eric Bradley finished in second. Eric Miller finished in third. So the top 3 finishers from each contest automatically qualify for the playoffs. So congratulations to y'all.
You're already in no matter what you do.
That's right. You want to get in on the battle for the belt, prove that you are Beer City's best fantasy football player. Go to the Sportsocracy.com. Click the links. We got the links up in the YouTube description as well. Play with us each and every week, and you could be the owner of one of our championship belts. One for the standard contest, one for the eliminator, and proceeds from the battle for the belt going to Eblin Charities St. Nicholas Project.
We're also dropping your 4 lowest scores, so if you didn't get in week 1, you still got time. Now, every week you don't play, it gives you less opportunity to drop bad scores.
Thank you, Michael Meadows, for shouting out the fact that I did beat Jeremy in the Vampire League. It would have been really hard for me to lose that, but if anybody's going to find a way, it would be me.
Considering my god-awful team of pickups scored 43 points, that's not good.
You did have Tyler Algier, though.
On the bench.
Yeah, I left him on the bench.
Also had Jacoby Myers, who I cut right before the game started. Let's go.
He's out here doing stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I hope your week 1 of fantasy went well.
You know who week 1 of football didn't go well for?
Who's that?
The Cincinnati Bengals.
No, it didn't go well for them.
Woo, buddy. I had Cleveland. I said Cleveland was going to win and make a statement in week 1. That might be the understatement of the year.
Yeah, because
Cincinnati had 6 first downs in an entire NFL football game.
Nobody saw that coming. If you'd have told me that Joe Burr was going to throw under 50%, only 82 yards, 0 touchdowns, a QBR of 20.
Bad. Real bad.
Absolutely terrible. So, Overreaction Monday. What's wrong with the Cincinnati Bengals?
Nothing. It doesn't help when your quarterback's not really even around for the preseason, and they came out with a big old grumper, and that happens sometimes. Mm-hmm. Does it change anything about how I feel about the Cincinnati Bengals? No, it does not. Next week, they play the Ravens in their home opener, and there's a good chance I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals. My bigger takeaway, everybody's losing their minds about the Bengals.
Yep.
The bigger takeaway to me, good Lord, that defense for the Cleveland Browns. Man, it's a big shock what a defensive coordinator makes, eh?
Yeah.
Jim Schwartz comes in, and all of a sudden that defense is what they were supposed to be last year. And Cleveland is every bit as good as we told you they would be, if not better.
Mm-hmm. 10 hits on the quarterback.
That's a lot.
Serious offensive line issues for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm the first one to say, preseason doesn't matter. But preseason doesn't matter to the fans. I think very few fans actually care about the preseason. There are those like Jeremy who just love to see what 7th round pick is going to end up making the squad. But for the most part, fans don't care. But I do think you need, like, your team should care.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Well, I mean, it really gives you less of a backboard. I mean, Cincinnati looked like they had never met each other yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch a lot of this game because it was completely irrelevant. But every time I looked at that screen, because we had every game in front of us at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue, the football home of the Sportsocracy. And every time I looked over there, it was just dysfunction, and it wasn't pretty.
Right. Cincinnati, I looked straight at them. Let's see who else. Oh, the Philadelphia Eagles were one of those that I looked at and went, you should be better than that.
Yeah, I'm a little lost. You've been railing on the Eagles all day.
I'm not railing about it. You should have just won that game comfortably, in my opinion. And you looked out of sorts. The offense wasn't great. The offensive line, there was obviously some issues communication wise there. I just feel like maybe you should have played some in the preseason. Maybe warm up a little bit, because I felt like that was a bit of a week one grumper.
I just look at Philadelphia and go, "You're up 16-0." So
I
then
get that.
You allowed Mac. I mean, Mac Jones comes out and throws 54 times. I never really thought New England was going to win that game.
Right, and then the flip side of that argument is one team that did care about the preseason
and looked awesome.
They looked unstoppable. Remember, 5 out of 5 drives, they finished with touchdowns. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, they got just annihilated.
Yep. And Brock Purdy. Are you ready yet? Are you ready?
No.
It's just Pittsburgh's that bad.
No.
Brock Purdy comes out and has another start where he has a QBR of over 90, which is every start he's had in the regular season in the NFL now.
Yeah, he completed 19 passes. You want me to tell you what my biggest takeaway was? Hey, you remember when we were doing all the fantasy things and I told you Brandon Ayuk was a guy you should target?
Yep.
Yeah, he's the focal point of that offense at this point.
8 catches, 129 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Brandon Ayuk.
He is the focal point among receivers. George Kittle, I forgot he was even on the field for extended periods of time. Deebo Samuel, forgot he was on the field for extended periods of time. I think Pittsburgh forgot Brandon Ayuk was on the field because I think I could have completed a few of those passes. He caught one over the middle where how do you vacate the entire middle of the field? And Pittsburgh looked slow. They looked out of sorts. I don't know what that was. And I'm not really worried about Pittsburgh defensively. I think it was just kind of a buzzsaw, and your offense was awful. Najee Harris had 6 carries. 6.
You got so far behind, you had to resort to the pass. Kenny Pickett throwing it 46 times is never good.
It was 20-7 at halftime. So, I mean, to me, that's just a really lame excuse. That was one of those that, for the people that rail on Mike Tomlin and say, "Oh, he's overrated," yesterday really gave you something to hang your hat on.
Yep.
Because Kyle Shanahan just annihilated him.
Yep. And then also, since we're doing all of the AFC North teams here, the Baltimore Ravens. T's and P's, man. How do you do it? How do you do it year in and year out? Just first game of the season. I mean, at least J.K. Dobbins made it through the first half.
Then how is it San Francisco and Baltimore have injury issues every single year?
J.K. Dobbins tearing his Achilles tendon. He's going to be out for the entirety of this year.
That's probably it.
After he missed all of 2021. I don't know if that's it. I mean,
I will say that's it.
He may be a backup. He may come in and be a backup for somebody for a long time, but I mean, this is his last shot at being an actual starter.
Well, you've now had 2 catastrophic injuries as a young running back, and the deal's up after this year. He was looking for a new deal, and this is why.
Yep.
And this is why Baltimore didn't want to pay him, because he is notoriously injury prone.
What about Ronnie? What about Ronnie Stanley? Was that a thing? Was that a long-term injury?
I haven't heard anything about that today.
I haven't either. I saw him go down, and I don't think he came back into the game. But it's just one after another. The Baltimore Ravens having to deal with injury after injury after injury, and it's never a good sign. Obviously, when you have a major injury like that. Now you go Justice Hill and Gus Edwards and hope to God they can stay healthy, which they haven't been able to do either. Do you go back and sign Melvin Gordon again?
Stone Sports Podcast in our YouTube chat, he's played 22 games in 4 years. That's it. I mean, just look how many running backs are on the open market that don't have this problem, that have been every bit as good as him or better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're done. It's a turn and burn position, and you have proven you cannot stay healthy. The AFC North was not a grand showing for you.
I mean, unless you're the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland was the high water mark for sure. Pittsburgh looked awful. Cincinnati looked awful. Baltimore just couldn't seem to put away Houston. I never thought they were going to lose. I never thought they were going to fail to cover. But it just seemed clunky.
But that's Houston. To me, that's more of a kudos to Houston.
Yeah, not for me. That team's awful.
Really?
Yeah, Houston Texans. All of you that jumped into our YouTube chats and comments and my Twitter feed. Hey, how you feel about C.J. Stroud right now? You remember how I told you he was a terrible quarterback? Was not ready to play in the NFL? Yeah, that's exactly what I saw yesterday.
Yep.
I saw a below-average prospect in the league. And I'm not surprised in any way.
Mm-hmm. Got his head rocked a couple of times in that one.
He just finds a way to put himself in bad positions more than I think any quarterback I've ever seen. Even Anthony Richardson, who uses his feet predominantly, doesn't put himself in bad positions the way C.J. Stroud does. I also find it really funny that all offseason long we heard, well, Todd Monken's the offensive coordinator of the Ravens now. They're going to throw it all over the yard. 22 passes. I mean, they threw the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
It looks exactly like Baltimore looked. Last year before that, it's just the way it's going to go.
Yeah, I did not expect that they were going to come out and throw it a billion times. Because Todd likes to do that with his running back. Hell, he was running Stetson Bennett plays while he was at Georgia. I mean, designed runs for him. What do you think he's going to do with Lamar Jackson? That was never going to happen, that this was going to become a more pass-centric offense. And now you definitely can't do it because now J.K. Dobbins is hurt. So you're going to have to lean even more on Lamar, I believe.
I would agree. I think he will throw more than he did this week.
Mm-hmm.
This is an anomaly where it really was, even though it was close for a while, the third quarter's where Baltimore just put the foot on the gas and away they went.
Right.
First half, it was close, but it never felt like Houston even belonged on that field.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any sweeping takeaways, though. No, I'm not overreacting to any of this.
I'm not going to overreact to Cincinnati. The offense for Pittsburgh terrifies me. If I had a lot of shares of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I do, Kenny Pickett would be giving me angina right now because he looked awful. Just wide open misses, threw one of the worst interceptions you'll ever see. You kept saying, well, the receiver fell down.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered if he didn't. That corner stared his eyes down the entire time. Kenny Pickett looks like he had, yesterday, looked like he regressed back to his junior year at college. Because that was a big knock I had on him as he stared down receivers constantly.
Mm-hmm.
He did it all day yesterday. So I will say if I was putting it on the scale, I am a -4 worried about the Bengals. I'm a solid 6 on the Steelers. And my confidence of the Browns is higher than it's ever been.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back from the break, it'll be time for us to declare the beasts of the night or the day yesterday in Week 1.
It's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people.
I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina.
Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Today's news requires more facts, more context, and more analysis. The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up autosave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools, one bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Autosave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Beast of the Night. Brought to you by Monster Brewing. The Beast Unleashed.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Beast of the Day for week one. You made fun of me last week, Jeremy, because I tried to give this to a whole defense. And I just don't know how I can choose, Mr. Participation Trophy, as you like to call me.
You are the Participation Trophy of sports talk.
But how do you differentiate between two guys who absolutely set the Los Angeles Chargers on fire yesterday?
So we're doing this again where we have beasts.
Beasts.
So you don't understand that beast is not plural.
No.
One.
No.
You get one.
Tua Tagovailoa, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, 11 catches for 2 of those touchdowns and 215 yards. How can you tell the difference between the two?
Well, you should try. Or we'll just let you continue to be the participation trophy guy.
Absolutely. While we're at it, Austin Eckler, 117 yards, touchdown.
Now you're taking one from the other team.
Exactly.
So it was the beast game of the
week. It actually was.
Mine is a guy that I have absolutely railed on for months. It's Matthew Stafford. You took my NFC favorite and beat them brainless with a bunch of dudes that look like they should work at Home Depot. Tutu Atwell, who famously was called Doo-Doo Atwell on this show repeatedly by a Lions fan, or Rams fan, excuse me, and Puka Nacua. No Cooper Kupp, no Allen Robinson, doesn't matter.
No problem.
238 yards between Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua. 16 catches. That's incredible. And look, I still will maintain to my dying day, this Rams team is not good. I don't know what happened to Seattle. It was ugly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got genuinely throttled in the second half.
30-13 was the final score.
At home.
Yeah. I mean, you can't blame that on Devin Witherspoon missing the game, right? I mean, he's a rookie. He ain't even part of it, right?
No.
Like, he ain't even been around long enough to be have his name on a locker.
No, this was just brutal. I don't know that I've ever seen a team that I had that lofty of a hopes for come out and look that bad. Geno Smith, it looks like the clock struck midnight.
He's back.
Him. It was brutal.
Geno is back, apparently. Apparently, maybe Dave Canales was the genius in that locker room, because Baker Mayfield actually looked kind of decent yesterday. But we'll get to that coming up later on in the program.
Yeah. It's the first time I've ever seen somebody's team win, and they leave a bar angry. That was a new one.
Like, come on. Really? I don't want to be good. I want to be bad.
So on the scale of worry, where do you fall with the Seattle Seabirds?
No.
They were definitively the Sea Chickens yesterday.
I mean, it's a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 0.5.
Oh, I'm a solid 7.
You're just full on after 1 week.
What'd you do well? You
had a bad
against
game.
the worst team in the league.
Yeah,
talent-wise, that is the worst team in the NFL. Them and the Cardinals, and I'm not sure it's even close.
Mm-hmm.
And they dog-walked you. That's not a good look. That's not a good look. And I don't really know how you fix it, because they have no pass rushers. So it's not like Geno Smith was just getting harassed repeatedly. He held onto the ball too long, which was a hallmark of Geno Smith with the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
You ran it reasonably well, but you got away from it late. Offensively, you just did virtually nothing. And the thing that would terrify me the most, your defense was awful. In the second half, they obliterated you. And if you look at Seattle's schedule, yeah,
it's not easy.
Ooh. At the Lions next week, who looked pretty formidable on Thursday Night Football.
That they did.
You can get the Panthers. At the Giants, at the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Still got dates with the Browns, the Ravens.
Could be a lot of losses on there if you don't turn things around. But here's the thing: are we just throwing out the Pete Carroll's a great coach thing after one game? No. They come out and lay an egg next week. Okay, maybe I'll start to worry.
GG Gambling is smoking crimes.
What did he say?
He said we will dog walk a lot of the NFL. Talking about the Rams. No, you will not. No, you dog walked the Seahawks yesterday. He also said Matthew Stafford's the best quarterback in the NFC, and I'm just going to act like I didn't hear that, because that's also crimes.
I mean, he's top 7.
I'll say he's in the backside of the top 5.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts would like a word. Oh, but he didn't look good yesterday. Don't care. Don't even kind of care.
I was very shocked to see, as many were, to see the LA Rams do that. And more importantly, to do it
about how you feel
without Cooper Kupp. I mean, again, nothing sweeping, because it's week 1. And, you came into this game better prepared, I guess. I don't know what you chalk it up to. I've always thought Sean McVay is a great coach, right?
He is a great coach.
And so he's got his guys ready to go, and they came in feeling themselves, and we don't have a star, and we got nothing to lose. And sometimes the team with nothing to lose is the one that you should be the most afraid of.
And I think there's something to that. All right, I'll ask this question. Next week they play at home against San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
How you feel about that?
49ers by 20.
Yep, scattered some other dice, covered, chunked, cubed, whatever. At the Bengals the next week. Obliterated.
Yeah.
And then you catch one at the Colts. Yeah. That'll be a game that tens and tens of people have.
It doesn't change this is the one thing I hate about week 1 of the NFL season is we have these bootsy games.
We have them every year.
Every year it happens.
Every year that somebody comes out that first week, and I don't know if you've read your press clippings. I don't know if you're just feeling yourself. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
almost invariably, those teams come out the next week. The ones that surprised you, let you down, and the ones that disappointed you come out and absolutely smoke whoever they're up against, like a honey ham.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes some teams just don't put the effort in or don't have their head screwed on straight and need to be punched in the mouth like the Pittsburgh Steelers did.
And that's entirely possible. That's entirely possible that Seattle needed to get just popped in the mouth.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because I keep going back to Pittsburgh. Like, Kenny Pickett has a bad game. Well, maybe he came into the game thinking, well, I'm kind of unstoppable because I had gone through the preseason, didn't really have a problem marching my team down the field. Maybe he just,
here's another thing.
Relaxed a little bit.
Here's another thing you got to remember. I haven't heard anybody say this yet, so I'll happily take the mantle, especially now that we're earlier. And so instead of people saying, well, you just heard that from somebody. No, I didn't, because I said it first. Next year, I'm really going to lean more on great coaches.
In week one?
Yes.
Yes.
Because you had 2 full weeks to game plan for this game, and some of it really showed. Sean McVay, great coach. Some of that offensive game plan in the second half, I don't know how you could defend it. Seattle was earmarked to defend it and could do it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the same way with Kyle Shanahan. Some of that scheme yesterday was just spot on.
But how do you make that call? How do you make that call between Sean McVay and Pete Carroll and Kyle Shanahan and Mike Tomlin?
We could have done that. Well, offensively, that's not hard. The second one you said, I screwed that one up.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I should have been able to lean on Kyle Shanahan is going to have 2 weeks to game plan a defense that's really aggressive, and he's going to use that against you.
Okay.
I'll readily admit I boo-boo-kittied that one hard. Now, Sean McVay, that's a little tougher, but he is a great offensive mind.
I never would have gone down that path. That gets into that 3-dimensional chess kind of stuff that I accuse you of all the time. I never would have got there.
No, neither of those games would I have.
Mm-mm.
I should have gotten there with San Francisco. I didn't.
And that's, and you want to criticize the fact that we got those games wrong. I know people on Twitter wanted to go after Jeremy for being stupid, quote unquote, which I think he plans on talking about later on in the program.
Oh, yeah. I do love how many people are geniuses 14 minutes after a game's over.
Yeah.
Hundreds, literally hundreds over the weekend.
But I can't be swayed by 1 week, right? I feel a certain way going into the season, and I can't be swayed after 1 week. I don't know, except for maybe the Washington Commanders. That might be one that maybe I'm swayed because I was starting to come around to, this team might be good, and then
Sam Howell looked fine.
And then after
he
watching
looked like
them,
a rookie.
Yeah,
he looked like a rookie. Arizona came out and had their hair on fire, and that's GG Gambling asked, how does a team that everybody thinks is such trash come out and beat a team that they're better at every position? You get a full offseason of people telling you you're awful. Look, I've said this for years. There's a reason you don't see double-digit spreads in the NFL very often because the talent gap this is not like college. This is not where you get a Florida State juggernaut against Southern Miss and they complete 7 passes an entire game.
Mm-hmm.
There is no team. The worst team in the NFL is just fractionally worse than the best team in the NFL at most positions. Now, there will be gaps. Quarterback usually, high-end playmaker, corner, pass rusher. In terms of offensive linemen, it's razor-thin difference. So you get these guys that every player in the NFL was the best player in the history of their high school, unless they went to Mater D or one of these gigantic
IMG
football factories.
or something like that, yeah.
But if you're just an average, you went to an average high school, best player you've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that makes it to the league. So you get these guys that you've heard all off season long how bad you are. And now these guys come out playing with their hair on fire. Arizona flew all over the field yesterday against Washington. And that was, to me, the easiest game to pick of the week. And Washington needed some help late.
Mm-hmm.
Does that change what I feel about Arizona? No, it doesn't.
But does it change what you feel about Washington?
Not really. I feel like Eric Bieniemy was a little over his skis yesterday. You threw it entirely too many times, especially with as successful as Brian Robinson was. But I felt that way about a lot of teams yesterday. I feel like you put too much on the plate of what is for all intents and purposes, a rookie. You put everything on his plate, and then you were shocked that he had a couple bad throws, couple turnovers. That shouldn't shock you.
No.
And I think it'll get better as time goes on.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are on, of course, the new time slot here, 12 to 3, every weekday afternoon on ESPN Asheville. But just because we shifted times doesn't mean any of our benchmark segments change. Coming up after the break, it'll be time to get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under mostly sunny skies, stray showers and storms pop in for the afternoon as we hit the low 80s today. Now for tonight, patchy fog rolls back in late, partly cloudy otherwise, low near 60. We keep that widespread fog with us early for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies, slight chance of afternoon showers and storms and a high of 81. Wednesday, partly sunny, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. We go up to 77. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
The countdown is on to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The most massive live music event of the year.
Friday and Saturday, September 22nd and 23rd at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. Experience more of the music you love with the record-breaking 5G network. T-Mobile customers can unlock VIP benefits at the festival all weekend long. It's better over here. See why at T-Mobile.com/SEEWHY.
Welcome to this month's meeting of the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club. Bingo winners.
Bingo.
Instant winner.
Here.
Oh. Big money winners.
Yeah, I think they're in Tahiti.
Second chance winners. Second chance winners.
Present.
Every single time.
New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with over $98 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.70 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com. The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. And yesterday it was a lot of firsts around the NFL. You had some guys getting their first real action after like Sam Howell. Like this is your first go round as the actual starter of this Washington Commanders football team. We had some new guys on the in the booth as well. Matt Ryan made his debut for CBS yesterday, and he was doing the Minnesota-Tampa Bay game with Andrew Catalon, and it was a tight game. even though Justin Jefferson was getting everything he wanted against the Tampa Bay secondary.
Unfortunately, good Kirk Cousins did not appear.
They could not punch
Goober
it.
Kirk Cousins
Yes.
was on full display.
Yes. The Tampa Bay defense was getting pressure. They were forcing fumbles. It was a poop show. And then when they came back from break at the half, they're going, Andrew Catalan is talking to Matt Ryan, and see if you can pick up on the joke that he threw at his new compadre there in the booth.
In the booth with Matt Ryan and Tiki Barber, I'm Andrew Catalan. We'll hear from A.J. Ross coming up. We were just chopping some burgers at halftime, saying this game feels like it should be 28-3 in favor of Minnesota. Why is it still 10-10? Turnover.
Oh, of all the scores of all the games that you could possibly have thrown at Matt Ryan, it's his first day.
It's so good. I mean, it's just like, you're just busting his chops on the first day he's in the booth with you. It feels like it should be 28-3, Matt, and you could tell, like, Matt caught it for a second, and he kind of grimaced and smiled, and then he just rolled right into it. And I got to give you kudos for that, because, I mean, that's like the kind of thing that a new coworker says to you on the first day, and you just kind of backhand him and go, that's one. All right? We're not going to do this all season long.
Yeah, that's one of those comments like, hey, when's that baby do? Oh, no, I don't, because I don't think he did it on purpose.
You don't think he did that on purpose?
I don't think he did it on purpose.
I think
he had computed in his head how many times Minnesota should have scored. Tampa Bay could do nothing offensively, and so he did it without thinking. I watched the video, and I saw the look on his face like, oh, what did I just say? I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna be on Twitter.
No. A producer fed him that. I will guarantee you.
Somebody doesn't like Matt Ryan.
Somebody got into his ear.
Tom Brady, and we got Matt Ryan.
Somebody got into his ear, and he said to somebody during the break, like, man, this game should be 28-3, and that guy went, you definitely need to say that when you come back. Please say that to Matt Ryan.
Tell me if you've heard.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I did not get to hear the game. I hope Matt did very well, but he handled that perfectly, I thought. Very professional.
Tell me if you've heard this story before. Pac-Man Jones was arrested Monday morning for terrorist threats on an airplane.
Whoa.
Now,
not today.
He not is a very poorly timed
not
there,
today.
Pac-Man. He was described as an unruly passenger on a morning flight at the Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport. He was removed from the plane, detained. He has now been released on bond, and he said the terroristic threats is a joke. He also said, do I look drunk to you? Now, I will say, as somebody that went real hard in the paint yesterday, I understand how you could possibly still be from the night before, and then it progresses. Interested to see what the actual details of this story are, because he swears that none of this is true.
Mm-hmm.
I have also seen a drunk passenger on an airplane at 6 o'clock in the morning, so that doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yeah, nothing would surprise me from Pac-Man Jones at this point, and just, I mean, you picked a bad day, brother.
Yeah,
you picked a bad day to do terroristic things on airplanes.
Yeah, it's this is a day you mind your P's and Q's on airplane.
Yeah, we don't do that. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and Overreaction Monday continues here.
The Miami Dolphins are the greatest offense I've ever seen in my life.
The game of the day yesterday.
I don't know that that's even an overreaction.
36-34, Miami comes back to beat the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, who didn't see that coming, right? Who did not see that coming at the end of that game when you went, oh, this is a close one, and Miami's got the ball, and they're going to score? Guess who's losing this game? It's Brandon Staley and the Los Angeles Chargers.
Isn't it weird that he's a coach that got a job because of how good he was as a defensive guy, and he's just genuinely awful?
Not good.
I'm not sure he even knows Tyreek Hill was on the field. Oh, let's just throw J.C. Jackson on him. Or do anything but that. Let's just do anything but that.
What's his other option? Is he going to throw?
I don't know. Anything else? Do anything but what you're currently doing. I think Miami ran the same play like 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
No solution whatsoever. And I don't know how you stop the Miami Dolphins. Short of the New York Jets, who have 2 elite corners. And I'm not even sure they can stop them. I thought Jalen Waddle was the play yesterday, and he had a big catch early on, and then it was the Tyreek Hill show.
Yeah, and then a whole bunch of little stuff after that. I mean, Tyreek Hill, 11 catches, 215 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tua Tagovailoa planting that flag again. I mean, before he got hurt last year, remember the MVP talk? And now he's right back in it again. If he
stays healthy, Miami is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
If he's going to throw up 4 bills every game, this is going to be terrifying for the rest of the AFC.
Oh, now, that was the good. Now, let me say the bad. You better pray to God that you better put him in bubble wrap every single Sunday as soon as this game's over, because your defense sucks. Fun stat. When was the last time an NFL team won a game giving up 2 of the highest rushing totals, 2 of the top 4 highest rushing totals in the league? When was the last time that happened?
Oh, man. That almost say it had to be 90s, maybe?
I'll give you a hint. I didn't exist yet.
Really?
It was 1985.
Okay.
Oddly enough, last team to do it, the Miami Dolphins.
It's weird how that that seems to happen a lot.
That defense is not good. Miami's going to be in shootouts every single week.
Yes.
But they have so much firepower that I just don't know how you deal with them. And yesterday, they didn't even attempt to run the ball. I thought Raheem Mostert was the no doubt home run play of the week. 10 carries?
Mm-hmm.
10 carries.
If you're moving the ball that well through the air, why bother running the football?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because they protected Tua pretty well. And that's probably the understatement of the year. Because I know he didn't get sacked. I don't think he got hit that many times. You're going to come up against some teams.
Twice.
He got hit twice. You're going to come up against some teams here. One of them's next week. New England's defense is good. I don't think you'll ever see Mac Jones throw it 54 times in a game, and you shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But they can hit you. If that's your game plan, that Tua's going to come out here and just chuck it all over the yard, don't be shocked when he gets hurt again. Nobody can withstand what you're asking him to do, especially when you come up against a team that can legitimately get after the passer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the Chargers side, how in the world do you have that many players on your defense? And I'm not even sure Tua had to – he probably just took that jersey off, folded it up, put it back in the drawer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'll wear that again next week.
It's terrible. There's no excuse. I mean, what excuse can you give that would be a legitimate thing? Because you have a star-studded roster.
Mm-hmm.
You have what we were told when he was hired and when we saw him in L.A., he's a genius, right? He's a defensive genius. Brandon Staley has been one of the biggest disappointments for me as a head coach in recent memory. I mean, I never had high hopes for guys like Cliff Kingsbury and, some of the other new guys. But Brandon Staley was one of those. I thought, man, he's really going to be good. And, man, he's not been good.
Well, you got 3 weeks here to really work out the kinks because you don't play you got the Titans next week, which is a decent enough defense, but they can't score.
Mm-hmm.
You go at the Vikings and the Raiders. You should be 3-1. If you're not, there is a great chance Brandon Staley's not the head coach of this team.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be this bad defensively when this is how you got your job. This is your calling card. He's terrible with the clock. This team is so undisciplined. They just gifted Miami a field goal at the end of the half for absolutely no reason.
With J.C. Jackson. I mean, that's the thing, J.C. Jackson.
Has there ever been a worse free agent signing than that?
Ooh, I feel like
I know there have been.
But
the Jets probably have 10 of them. So, sorry, glass houses, I get it. But J.C. Jackson is an absolute liability.
Yeah. I mean, he
liability.
can have a couple of plays where he does well. I mean, he had an interception in yesterday's game that looked decent, but then the rest of the time he was just getting his brains beat out, basically.
He was,
and you can't.
He was awful.
You just can't do that.
It blows my mind that you have a team that's this talented. And I liked a lot of what Kellen Moore did yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, fun stat on J.C. Jackson. I wanted to verify this before I said it. Do you know how many players in the NFL had a 28.7 PFF grade last year? Which is what J.C. Jackson had.
How many?
0. It would have been the lowest rated game in the NFL last year.
Wow.
It was one of the top 5 lowest rated games in the last 8 years. That is hard to wrap your brain around for one of the highest paid corners in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And the other 2 were pretty good.
And it makes you question. It's got to be a scheme thing, right?
No, I don't think he's good at football. I think Bill propped him up. You got absolutely horribly overpaid. I mean, you remember the year that he signed with the Chargers? The Jets were the other contender.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you this 100 times. I was terrified that they were going to do that.
Right.
Because I hated the scheme fit. Now, I just don't think he's a good player. And you're to the point now of you have a really overpriced corner that I'm not even sure you can put on the field. Tyreek Hill abused you.
To be fair, he abuses most people.
Not like that.
But I was going to say. But it did look very, very bad.
We got our first one of these of the day.
Yeah, huckleberry.
Ooh, got a little buzz there.
Yeah.
Armchair, our resident Canadan, said if Bill lets a guy walk, there's a reason, and J.C. Jackson is just the latest proof positive of that. He's right.
Yeah. For all his faults and all the smack we might talk about him, Bill Belichick knows what he's doing, right? I mean, for the most part.
I would.
He's not a great drafter.
I would agree with that defensively.
He's not a great drafter, but I mean, he's notorious, right? He's notorious for bailing on a guy at the right time.
Yes. And then they come back to New England and they're good again.
And who knows? He may pick up J.C. Jackson on the scrap heap here soon and bring him back, and he'll be good again.
All right, we've been asked on New England did that change anything for you? That they contended with Philadelphia?
Not necessarily.
Changed nothing.
It didn't change much for me. And I get the reaction, oh, how can you say that? Well, I mean, Houston played them tough last year, right?
Yeah, and you're at home. It was Brady Day.
Mm-hmm.
They came out and punched you in the face early. And you know what I saw out of Mac Jones? The exact same thing I've seen out of him since he walked into this league. He is never going to win you games. Never. And that's what they asked him to do yesterday. I told you all offseason long, they're going to be annoying. The New England Patriots will be a fly in your ointment every time you play them because they're going to punch you in the mouth. And defensively, they did that in droves in the last 3 quarters to Philadelphia.
Yep.
But I thought Philadelphia looked more clunky than New England looked good, per se. The defense is good.
That was my takeaway, was that
You
Philadelphia.
The thing that kind of dumbfounded me about New England, you couldn't run a greasy peg up a cat's keister. And I thought that was going to be your hallmark. And then it just got to a point where it was almost like Bill O'Brien went, screw it, we'll do it live. Just let Mac go out there and throw it all over the yard.
Mm-hmm. I felt like Philadelphia looked out of sorts on offense.
I did too.
And the defense was decent. I did see where Adam Schefter reported out that Nakobe Dean is going to be gone for a month, and they've signed Rashawn Evans to fill his spot on that defense in the meantime. But Jalen Carter, he's a dog.
Yeah, he's good at football.
Because I think he had 6 pressures yesterday.
He's good at football.
Had a sack as well. They're going to be terrifying, but they're also going to have games like this. People, do you flip out this way when the Kansas City Chiefs do this? When the Kansas City Chiefs play down to their opponents, do you flip out and go, oh?
I think the Chiefs have a legit problem. You just don't have pass catchers outside of Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia, how many times did I have to say, you do realize you lost both your coordinators, right? There was going to be an adjustment period. Brian Johnson just called his first play in years, and he's never called one in the NFL. He was a college coordinator. This is a little bit different.
Yep.
And you're scheming against Bill Belichick that knows he's going up against an inexperienced play caller. And it looked pretty obvious to me. No Smiles in our YouTube comment said, give Mac Jones a real receiver and he'll be fine. Here's the problem with that. You're going to have to draft one because none of them want to play with him. You had to overpay Juju. You had to overpay Devontae Parker. I mean, you've tried, but nobody wants to play with him because you're in the AFC and he's got we'll say he's limited athletically. New England, to me, is the exact same thing they've been for a handful of years now. 6-11, 7-10, 8-9, 9-8.
Yep.
There's no other range of outcomes.
Yep.
You're going to fall in that 4-game window as long as this roster is constructed this way.
And we will be competitive week
you
in and
can
week
be
out.
annoying. I mean, you're not the Houston Texans by any stretch of the imagination. It's just you're going to get into shootouts. All right, I'll give you a good example with the team we just talked about. They play the Miami Dolphins. How in the world do you think they're going to keep up with them?
Oh, well, we're going to find out on Sunday.
I know. I know.
We're going to find out this Sunday night. And it's
cool.
Probably
you talk
not
about a game
well.
that Jeremy will be rooting for the officials because that's. Well, let's see. Would I rather let you punch me in the face or hit me in the nethers with a wiffle ball bat? Yep, that's Patriots Dolphins football.
You impressed me. Look, I did not expect that you were going to come out week one and be in a ball game that you had a shot to win. Do
you remember
against the Philadelphia Eagles?
Do you remember one of the last things I said on our YouTube live yesterday?
No.
It took everything in my power not to bet New England yesterday. Because I kept looking at that number going, it's not moving. Doesn't make sense. Bill never gets blown out, especially at home.
Right.
I'm not going to say it's never happened. It just doesn't happen very often. And I didn't pull the trigger on it because I couldn't figure out you're going to lose, and it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of a touchdown. I just can't figure out which side of it you're going to be on. And it went largely how Vegas thought it would.
You want to sway me? Keep Tua under 300 yards or keep him under 350. Be competitive in that game on Sunday night against the Miami Dolphins. That'll start to sway me. Be that competitive against the New York Jets the following week. Be that competitive against the Dallas Cowboys the following week in Dallas, Jerry World. Then maybe we'll talk.
There's a great possibility that New England starts out 0-4 and they don't lose one game by more than a touchdown.
Exactly.
That's on the table.
And you and I will be okay. You can hang with teams, but how many are you going to win? You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back for the break, Jeremy has his picks of the night for Monday Night Football. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Having pain like that and not knowing how you caused it and for how long it's lasting, it's debilitating.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson hated not being able to live her life to the fullest due to joint pain. But then she called QC Kinetics, where regenerative treatments helped her pain go away.
The result was phenomenal.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using natural biologics to restore and repair damaged joint tissue.
This was a great alternative for me as opposed to going in and possibly having surgery or something else. There was no downtime, and that's what I loved. My life is too busy for me to be sidelined.
If you're tired of constant pain from arthritis or injury, don't think the old treatments are the only treatments. Discover regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics.
Just to feel good and know that I'm out of pain is the best thing ever. I'm able to do everything that I want to do.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick and mortar stores. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
Welcome to this month's meeting of the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club. Bingo winners.
Bingo.
Instant winner.
Here.
Oh. Big money winners.
Yeah, I think they're in Tahiti.
Second chance winners. Second chance winners.
Present.
Every single time. New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with over $98 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.70 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under. Like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Coffee store closes only. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
It was a profitable weekend. Over the number in college, over the number in pro. And I demolished the Chief and Tank in the betting picks on Friday. Got one game left this week in the NFL, and, well, it just so happens to be my favorite team. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. Your 2023 Super Bowl champion, New York Jets, are a 2.5-point dog tonight at home against the Buffalo Bills, over under 45.5. The easy part of this is the under. These are two really good defenses. These are offenses that I'm not 100% sure what they are. Buffalo doesn't run well, and you got a whole new cast of characters with the Jets. So I'm going under the 45.5. For who wins? You know who I'm taking. It's the Jets, Jets. September 11th in New York. First game with Aaron Rodgers. I'm not a narrative guy usually, but this is about as easy a one as you'll ever see. Give me the New York Jets plus the 2.5. I'll take them the money line to win outright under the 45.5. For more, find us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mow it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under mostly sunny skies, stray showers and storms pop in for the afternoon as we hit the low 80s today. Now for tonight, patchy fog rolls back in late, partly cloudy otherwise, low near 60. We keep that widespread fog with us early for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies, slight chance of afternoon showers and storms and a high of 81. Wednesday, partly sunny, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. We go up to 77. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under. Like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
We all know Goodwill. But did you know when you donate stuff to Goodwill, you help provide job training for people right here in your community? Goodwill. Donate stuff. Create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
All right, team. Apps on the table by 7:30 sharp.
Jalen and his catering company have a lot on their plate.
Really particular.
He needs a bigger team to continue climbing up the food chain.
Throughout this event. Hey, Mitch, was that contract for 200 or 250 people?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
We're just getting started. Nothing.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles studio.
This is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy in a brand new time slot. Just making ourselves a little cozy here. Just, elbow room.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to being home for dinner. That's the highlight of my day.
It's always good to be able to, spend some time with the family.
My wife loves it because now I can cook dinner every day. And shockingly enough, pretty good cook.
Yes. Yes, indeed. It is the Sportsocracy, and we are seen everywhere in the Ingles studio on YouTube.
In this segment, I'm going to give a fait accompli of I was wrong, and Divine Comedy wants you to admit that you were on the Rams and the Seahawks because he tried to tell us.
He did.
Specifically you, because you were really dogmatic about, as was I.
Mm-hmm. That no, the LA Rams never get blown out by the Seattle Seahawks. Did not see the Rams winning that game handily. But yeah, I mean, I'm wrong a lot. I don't feel like you guys should really need me to admit that I'm wrong when I'm wrong a lot.
Yep.
But that's the joys of doing this little song and dance here every day. I don't know. You shouldn't be expected to get all those right because nobody does.
You know what I got super wrong?
What's that?
Alabama is bad at football. Just genuinely.
Are they? Are they terrible?
Awful. Jalen Milroe is bad. Bad. Oh, but he's so electric running the football. Yeah, but he can't throw it. See, which is a really big benchmark of playing quarterback.
Big win of the weekend for the Texas Longhorns as they beat number 3 Alabama and did it pretty convincingly.
Yes, Quinn Ewers, a dog.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the Pat McAfee cast, do that every week. I didn't turn on the network broadcast not one time.
Quinn Ewers throwing for 349 yards, 3 touchdowns in the 34-24 win.
I think somebody should wrap us into our own simulcast like that. Get us and our little merry band of characters on the sideline at, I don't know.
Western? You want to do a Western game?
I'd do it.
I don't know how Western might feel about that, but we could make a phone call.
100%.
We could see how they'd feel about that. You know who else is a dog? A.D. Mitchell, and I told you that.
Yeah, he's
clutch. I mean, the same guy who scored the game winner against Alabama in the national championship game for Georgia, scored the game winner in the Ohio State game in the college football playoff last year, and then he had 2 touchdowns from Quinn Ewers in the Longhorns win over Alabama, and we all kind of reveled in that, didn't we? When we were watching that game go down like it did, we were like, oh.
I had a lot of people that saw my game pick on the Tic Tac and the Instaface and all those things. And after the game, they really enjoyed taking a victory lap. But you're stupid and you got that wrong. I know, and I'm very happy I did. Actually, I don't know that I've ever been happier that I got something wrong. Funny little aside on that. Totally forgot I wagered Texas.
Yeah.
Got an email right after the game. Hey, you won. And it had a significant number on it. And I went, forgot I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Good for me.
And Divine Comedy said he just wants me to trust him when he tries to tell me things about his Seahawks. And I will. From now on, I'll never do another thing. It'd be like who is it that keeps giving you the Virginia Tech inside?
Evan Doyle.
Evan Doyle. Yeah, when Evan says something about Virginia Tech, just go with it.
By the way, thank you, Evan Doyle, because I put a mint on your Virginia Tech Hokies to lose. And it took me a while, but it paid off. Had to deal with a very aggressive weather delay.
Yes, indeed. It was a weird weekend of college football. I mean, not necessarily the outcomes. It was just hanging around for the Notre Dame-NC State game to resume.
A lot of delays.
Yeah, Western was delayed for like 7 hours. They didn't get back on the field till like 9 o'clock, and that game kicked off at 2 in the afternoon. So, yeah, there was a lot of severe weather in the state of North Carolina and all over the country, or the East Coast.
All right, so what was your big takeaway of the weekend?
Big takeaway of the weekend? I mean, I guess it has to be that Texas is for real and that
Texas is certainly for real. They have so much speed on that team.
They are no doubt a contender for the college football playoff. Not that I didn't think they were beforehand, but the Alabama game was the one that I looked at and went, well, that's it, right? Like, if they can win that game, then hell, they might go undefeated and very well be in the college football playoff. And now you look at their schedule and go, they got to beat Oklahoma, Kansas State, who I haven't seen anything great out of Kansas State.
No.
In the first 2 weeks of the season.
They slaughtered Troy.
Woo! Those are the two quote unquote speed bumps. At Baylor might be interesting because Baylor and Dave Aranda, they're a team that can keep it interesting.
Well, they lose to Texas State and then they give Utah everything they wanted.
Right.
And more. They should have won that game.
Yes, they should have.
Didn't.
That's why I mentioned that. Now you got to look at that and go, that could be dangerous being on the road in Waco.
All right, who's your top 5?
My top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Florida State 3, I think, and then I'll go Texas 4. 5 would have to be Ohio State, maybe, or USC. USC.
I'm going to go USC. USC is killing people.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I understand Stanford's not good. They were at 49-3 at halftime on a Power 5 school.
Mm-hmm.
They're my 5. Michigan is my 4. Georgia is my 3.
Mm-hmm.
Texas is my 2. And hit the button! Do it!
Oh, my God.
Do it! Do it!
Oh.
There we go.
God.
Oh, yes.
Florida State, you're number 1. 66-13 over Southern Miss.
It's always good when the quarterback comes in for one drive in the second half, puts on a baseball cap, taps the back of the court on the shoulder, and goes, "Your turn. Go do that." I'm done. They threw 4 passes in the second half. That team is terrifyingly good.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, Florida State and Texas are both in midseason form. I don't see that out of Georgia, and I don't see it out of Michigan. Michigan has kind of let me down 2 weeks in a row. Not because they're not. I mean, they're obviously very good, but you played 2 games that you should really have been able to qualify.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand you don't have your coach. It's a little clunky.
Do I need to qualify though?
No. You got a whole
to.
season to do that. For me, when I do rankings or power rankings or anything like that, I ask myself one question. These 2 teams play on a neutral field right now. Who am I betting? And right now, I would bet my house on Florida State against anybody in the country.
Really?
I don't care who it is.
Okay.
That defense is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Are they as good as Georgia?
Yes. Defensively, to me, markedly better because they're way more experienced.
I would say offensively, you might have the edge on my Bulldogs.
Offensively,
as
there's
well.
no doubt.
And then, it's going to be fun.
Oh, no doubt.
It's going to be
this is the most interesting year.
Because if we stay on track, it's going to be you and me for the national title,
Let's
baby.
go. The year of the mullet. Not only do I get a Super Bowl and an NBA title and a college football championship, and I got married. Ah!
Full Howard Dean over here.
Oh, it's so good.
I know you're a good Democrat.
This is the most interesting year of college football that I think I've ever seen. Do you feel the same way?
Nah, not yet.
Really?
Not yet.
Is it just because you've played 2 roast beef tech schools?
Pretty much.
Okay, cool. Well, that's not going to change because your entire schedule is lollipops and cupcakes.
I mean, there's nothing that's going to happen short of Georgia losing for me to go, okay, things are different than I thought they were. Still number 1 team in the country. They still have the best defense in the country, in my opinion. I get Florida State maybe close, but for the most part, you're just rinsing and repeating.
Jerry Burrs.
No, we don't.
That's the difference to me. To me, that's probably the 2 best defensive teams in the country.
You're just rinsing and repeating at this point, and it's going to be Georgia rolls through the season, and then let's see how they perform when they get into the championship rounds, basically, of this season.
Oh, by the way, if you want the easiest layup bet in the history of time, Florida State minus 27.5 at Boston College, who should have lost to Holy Cross.
Ooh,
let's
gross. Gross.
Yeah, this might be 81-3.
Yeah. I feel the same way every start of the college football season. You might have 1 or 2 games that can kind of sway you, that can make you think, okay, this team's a little bit different. Alabama losing to Texas, obviously that's going to change some things for you. Seeing the way that Notre Dame has come out and performed in the first couple of weeks of this, or the first 3 games of the season, especially with the way they were able to put the foot on the gas late against NC State and separate during that game makes me think that they're better. But for the most part, you're not playing anybody. I can't take anything away from that. I don't take anything away from Penn State beating Delaware 63-7.
Drew Ayler's really good.
Right.
But I just think you've got – I'm looking at the rankings right now. I think you've got 10 teams, maybe more than that are really interesting. Obviously, all of the top 5. Mm-hmm. Ohio State is an enigma to me. I can't really figure out what your problem is. But it's obvious when I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You Marvin Harrison really well. You just don't Marvin Harrison enough.
Mm-hmm. And you Kyle McCord very inconsistently.
I don't know if he's good at football.
And I think
he's got a great arm, but he might be one of those that has $1 million arm and a 10-cent brain because he does some very odd things.
And there are plays that make me, or there have been plays over the last 2 weeks that make me think that they're not as up to snuff on the offensive line as you would want them to be. Because when they face a team that can actually get after the quarterback, Kyle McCord might be cut in half. I don't know.
This is for the last couple of years. It's just felt like Georgia is the buzzsaw and nobody can touch them. Now I'm not sure that there's. I think there's 9 teams in the country that could beat Georgia. I'm not saying they would do it consistently.
Right.
But to me, Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, Texas, USC, Ohio State, they still have a ton of talent. I know it's been clunky, but Penn State, Washington, Notre Dame, Tennessee, they're all really good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, then it falls off a cliff because then you get to Alabama. And, hey, you remember how their defense was supposed to be so awesome? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. I thought that's why I took them against Quinn Ewers because he has that same problem Kyle McCord does. If you've got a golden arm, but, man, you make some bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Saban would toy with him. Not how that went. And then there's another team that we haven't talked about yet. They have a coach that's like real famous.
Oh, you're talking about the number 18 Colorado Buffaloes. 2-0 after getting the win over Nebraska. They're one of those that I don't know how good you are. I know how good you are. Yeah.
I know how good you are.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and make a sweeping declaration. They're going to go into Eugene, and they're going to punch Oregon in the throat.
Ooh. Upset?
Yes.
You calling it now?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you will have two. I think you'll have two. A 4-0 Colorado, a 5-0 USC on September 30th. Those two in Colorado. And I'm not sure they don't beat USC.
Really?
The sweeping declaration that I have is the defense is better than I thought.
Okay.
They are doing things defensively. Travis Hunter can lock up anybody in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not even – I feel like we're talking about him a lot because he's playing all these snaps. He's playing offense. He's playing defense. He's not even the best receiver on the team.
It's that Edwards kid, right?
They have a couple. Jimmy Horn is that's a shifty little feller. And then you got the Xavier Weaver, who's had 200-yard games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Colorado came out, and it was not pretty to begin with. And, yes, Jeff Sims turned the ball over 413 times. Never seen a quarterback that can't catch a snap. That was a new one. And Matt Rule stuck with him way longer than he should have. But once they get momentum, it's a very tempo-based team. And I think the more time goes on, Sean Lewis is really going to pick up on that. And you're going to stop having these slowdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed it in the first quarter of, man, you don't look as good when you're just not tempoing up against a team like Nebraska. And I think they got caught off guard of the Nebraska pass rush was pretty good. And it slowed them down. As soon as they put their foot back on the gas, they're unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got guys that are wide open. And Shedeur Sanders is – I hope you listened to me when I said you should throw a shekel on him to win the Heisman because he's the front runner right now to me.
Colorado, we're not going to learn much about them this week. If you're not convinced yet, you won't learn much when they destroy Colorado State.
That's a rivalry game, though.
I mean, if that's even a competitive game, then the bubble will have burst for most people. You see them struggle with Colorado State, and you go, oh, okay. See, they're not that good. They're not that good. They just got, maybe caught TCU off guard in the first week. Nebraska's not good anyway. But I don't see that happening. They'll blow Colorado State out. And then it's time to prove your mettle against Oregon.
Well, you got to remember, Colorado State's that's a rivalry game. That's a rivalry game, so you could see Colorado come out and do that same thing of, man, we're going to score 50 points a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then Oregon is that's the first real litmus test. And based off what I have seen, Oregon is a bully that can really punch above its weight class when it plays somebody bad. I don't know defensively how they're going to hold up. I don't know how anybody holds up against them because they've got so many weapons. Everybody talked about how bad the lines were going to be. I'm not seeing that. Now, I might change my mind when they go up against USC or something like that, but Nebraska has a ton of transfers too. There's talent on that team.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good offensively, but they will thump you in the mouth defensively. They did it to Colorado. They answered the bell, and I would argue they look better in the second half against Nebraska than they looked against TCU. I have them at 11. If I had a poll vote, they would have been 11th.
Really? Okay. I think 18 is a little bit low, especially after you took down the defending runner-up last year in the first round or the first week of the season.
I'm just looking at teams in front of them going, that Utah team that struggled with Baylor.
Yeah.
Oh, would I take that against Colorado? Good Lord, no.
Mm-mm.
LSU, Kansas State, Oregon State. Oregon State's probably the funniest one. And Ole Miss that broke my heart late. Thanks, Kiffin, you hotty-toddy jerk. I was on the right side with Tulane. The quarterback didn't play. Michael Pratt got hurt late.
Yep.
And I knew it was a possibility, but I thought he was going to grit it out. The backup quarterback beat them for 3 quarters. And then it all fell apart.
Overreaction Monday here in the Sportsocracy. Any other sweeping overreactions from the college football weekend? I mean,
North Carolina
struggled holding Appalachian State back for the second year in a row. It's not great. But Omari and Hampton had himself a day, 234 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns in that App State game. So at least that was a bright spot.
Oklahoma is much better defensively than I thought they were. They're not as good offensively as everybody thinks they are.
Mm-hmm.
And Texas will absolutely dump truck them. But they're better than I thought. I've railed on Brent Venables for 2 years, so I give him the credit when credit's due.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on to WWNC.com and go to contest, and you can sign in to make your picks. Each weekly winner wins a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing. Make your picks now.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on an Overreaction Monday. Going back to the NFL, the Green Bay Packers. Is that a team that you're ready to say some mea culpas about, Jeremy, or what?
Depends on what you're asking me.
Well, I mean, I feel like we talked smack all offseason long about Jordan Love and how he's not good at football and this team's not good and blah, 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 blah. And then they came out and handled their business against Chicago in great fashion.
He was fine. I mean, to me, Green Bay is still 8-9 win team. My bigger takeaway, the Chicago Bears look like duty juice. I don't know what that was. I don't know how you went into a room and went, this is our offensive game plan. That's bad. That's real bad.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Moore, guy that you had to have in that number one pick trade. Oopsie poopsie. And I saw somebody say this, and I apologize. I don't remember who it was. The Chicago Bears are going to regret they didn't take a quarterback.
Okay.
And they'll be in the market for one after this year.
Okay.
Because Justin Fields is not progressing. He is a fantasy dynamo. I thought having the extra weapons would make him look better. He looked worse.
Mm-hmm.
And not really all that close. He can still run, but he can't throw. And he makes just god-awful decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Only team that I completely jumped off the bandwagon of, Chicago Bears. And I was off of it in a quarter and a half.
Yep. No way this team.
I don't think Matt Eberflus is a good coach, first of all, at all. I don't think they have any form of identity offensively. And that's the most unsettling thing to me. You had 2 weeks to game plan this game, and it literally looked like you came off the plane and went, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know how your offensive game plan after you made the big trade for DJ Moore, how could 2 targets for DJ be in the cards? That had to be Justin Fields not following the game plan.
I disagree.
Really?
I think it was he just got shut down. And Justin Fields can't throw guys open.
Mm-hmm.
You know what makes elite quarterbacks elite? Josh Allen does this a lot. Pat Mahomes does it probably better than anybody I've ever seen, not named Tom Brady. You have to, in games like this where your guys are not consistently getting open, you have to be able to make that tight window throw. He can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot do it. He's got a howitzer of an arm. He has no clue where it's going. This is like a little kid with fireworks. It's a bad call.
Yep.
Because somebody's going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I was watching the Chicago Bears of last year and the year before, and it should have been way better than that. And the defense is awful. Just genuinely awful. You came up against a shell of a team in the Green Bay Packers. And they annihilated you. And you know what really is damning in that realm?
What?
It's 10-6 to halftime. They came out and scored 4 touchdowns in the second half, which means they went in the locker room. They figured out all of their issues, and they just hot knife through buttered you in the second half. You can't do that.
Yep.
And you got 2 with LaFleur. You got 2 with Kevin O'Connell that offensively I think is going to be able to take advantage of you. And Justin Jefferson, I have no clue how you're going to deal with him. None.
Yep.
And then you get the Motor City Madman. So I am playing taps for my Chicago Bear love.
Okay. So off of the Chicago Bears are going to win this division now.
They're not going to win the division. They're going to win a lot of games. I still think they go 8-9, 9-8, somewhere in there. Even if you made the playoffs, you would get tortured by good teams. Because I don't think Green Bay's great, and it looked like a JV squad in the second half. No adjustments whatsoever. You probably catch one this week, although it would be hilarious to me if your Tampa Bay Buccaneers started 2-0 with Baker Mayfield. And I got to watch you just walk out like a sad puppy dog for another Tampa Bay Buccaneer win.
I've been telling you all off season long, this is what's going to happen.
You got no dissent from me.
This is what's good. This is Tampa Bay Buccaneer football. We're going to win just enough games not to get that top draft pick. You're never going to be in contention for anything. Won't be in contention for the division, but you're going to win just enough games so you can pick 7th, 8th, or 9th in the draft, and yay! We get to settle for
Michael
J.J.
Penix.
McCarthy or somebody, I don't know.
Yep, that one's that math.
Yeah.
Because I would say Quinn Ewers is probably going ahead of that now. Greatest quarterback draft in a decade, and Tampa Bay's out here winning games.
Yep.
Let's go. Fire them cannons, by golly. Put more powder in them things.
Yeah. So the Green Bay Packers, I did come away from yesterday thinking maybe I have thought too ill of the Green Bay Packers. And maybe this can be a team that will vie for this division.
The schedule's not bad.
No.
I mean, they have a very workable schedule. So, I mean, Green Bay could be a playoff team. I'm not ready to get there yet because I still feel like you're going to see bad Jordan Love at some point. It's going to be this week against the Falcons on the road.
Really? But why? Did you see anything in the Falcons that made you believe that they're?
I watched them beat Bryce Young's brains out. And I'm looking at Jordan Love going, I see some similarities between these two. Where they're at right now.
Okay. All right. Green Bay Packers win big over the Chicago Bears, and apparently even without Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay still their daddies. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, we'll get to see him on the field tonight.
With
Monday Night Football.
2023 Super Bowl champion New York Jets.
Buffalo Bills.
I'm telling you, this sets up for such a kick in the pants. I was trying to think of a way to say something else right there, but I couldn't.
Yes, it does. And let's go, Buffalo. That's all I can say. All I want is for me to be able to come in here tomorrow and say, my team's 1-0 and your team's 0-1.
Yeah, and you don't want to be 1-0, and I know that. So that really loses all of its it loses its juice when you do that.
Buffalo and New York tonight on what will be it'll be an emotional, high-pitched atmosphere at MetLife Stadium with the 9/11 ceremonies and all of the pregame stuff that will be going on there. Not a dry eye in the house as we look back on 22 years. God, I'm old. 22 years since 9/11. It baffles me.
Still remember.
Where were you?
High school. I was a freshman in high school.
Y'all were in class when it happened?
Actually, oddly enough, I was in the same room with HWA. It's the only time we had ever met. And we didn't know that until we'd been together for like a year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We were in the same room at the same time.
On
there was
9/11.
no television in the classroom that I was in. And so we moved back inside.
That makes sense. 2001, Buncombe County School classroom that doesn't have a TV. That made sense.
Yeah. And there, I'm sure there's a Well, no, kids are in school.
You couldn't even.
I forgot. We're not after school anymore.
Yeah, you couldn't even wheel one down the hallway to watch it. You had to go.
I was out in the trailers outside.
Yes, in the trailers.
Every school had the trailers.
Yes, they did. I just remember I was sleeping, and I had a 9 o'clock class. It was my second year in college. I guess sophomore year in college. Do you call it sophomore year when you only go to a 2-year school? That was actually my senior year.
I thought you were about to say, do you call it your sophomore year when it's your second crack at it?
No, when you're going for an associate's, you go freshman to senior immediately. But anyway, I was sleeping, and I had fallen asleep with the radio on like I always do. And the morning show was Howard Stern. And as he was calling it on the radio, like I was dreaming it at the same time, and then woke up in just this daze like this can't be real, what I'm hearing, and then go into the living room and turn the television on. And they said from that moment on, nothing will ever be the same again.
And it hasn't been.
And it hasn't been. You look back to September 11th, 2001, and that is the day that everything changed for all of us. Thoughts and prayers we remember here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under mostly sunny skies, stray showers and storms pop in for the afternoon as we hit the low 80s today. Now for tonight, patchy fog rolls back in late, partly cloudy otherwise, low near 60. We keep that widespread fog with us early for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies, slight chance of afternoon showers and storms and a high of 81. Wednesday, partly sunny, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. We go up to 77. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Today's news requires more facts, more context, and more analysis. The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and let's get weird. This could be... So this is an idea that sounds horrible, honestly. I'm trying to spin this like, I can understand where somebody was going with this, but when you think about what it's going to take to get this job done, and more than likely it's going to be the government that's in charge of doing this job.
Oh, yeah, that's a bad call.
That's never a good thing because, as Jeremy and Ronald Reagan love to say,
9 scariest words in the English language. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
There is apparently a movement on social media that they're trying to get support behind the idea of restoring the Statue of Liberty.
What do you mean restoring it?
They want to restore it to its original shine. You know the Statue of Liberty is made out of copper, correct? Or did you know that? You did not know that.
You could have told me it was made out of pimento cheese. I've never thought about that until you just asked me.
Okay, all right. I feel like you should have learned that in a history class at some point, but it's been a long time since then. So
it's adorable that you think I paid attention to history.
Wait a minute. I thought
Bob
you were
Browning, who listens to this show, he can vouch for that 100%.
But wait a minute. This was the same guy that you did really well in your classes, right? You were a smartman.
I was a smartman. I also didn't have to. I was super smart and didn't have to try real hard. So,
all right. Well, if you don't, know
I once famously told a teacher, "I didn't read the book, and I'm going to ace your test." And guess what? I did.
Yeah. If you don't, obviously there are some of you that don't know the history of the Statue of Liberty. It was a gift from France back in 1885.
That I knew.
She was bronze. Like full-on, shiny, brown bronze when she got here. Well, what happens to copper over time? It oxidizes, and it turns into the green color. Well, there's a push now to have her chemically restored to the brown color. But think about how much that's going to take to do that. How many gallons of Brasso do you think it would take to return her to her pristine brown color from 1885? And how many years would it take for the government to do that? They just spent, what was it, $700 million, and it took them 6 years to put nets underneath the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. I saw Elon Musk put this out on his Twitter yesterday, I think it was. The bridge itself took 4 years to build. And obviously, it cost like $400 million or something way back in the day. But it cost us $700 million to put nets under the damn thing, and it took 6 years to do that. You can only imagine how long it's going to take to do this restoration, if it ever gets off the ground, of the Statue of Liberty. But if you've ever had to polish brass before, you know what a painstaking process that could be. There's going to be a lot of contact high on that job.
My story also has to do with construction, restoration kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's about Kathy and Roy Allcamp. They're 51, 52 years old, respectively. And they just bought a house in New Jersey. Well, as you do, you buy a house and you want to make some changes. There was a finished basement downstairs. Well, it had a wall. The wall didn't make a lot of sense. So they wanted to take the wall out.
Okay.
When they put the first hole in the wall, they discovered something a little strange. Hundreds of empty Captain Morgan rum bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, there's a video that you can find it. It's all over TikTok. They open the bottom of the wall and they just come pouring out. It genuinely looks like there's probably 500 Captain Morgan bottles in there.
But for why?
The only thing I can figure is somebody liked the old sauce and they weren't supposed to, and so they hid it when they built the house. Why you wouldn't just throw them away, I have no idea.
Right.
Unless maybe you thought somebody'd find them in the trash.
That's 100% a guy who was told by his wife to stop drinking. and he couldn't put him in the trash can because she'd find out. And he didn't think about sneaking him out of the house, I guess. And so he just decided, you know what, I'm going to cut a little hole in the wall. She'll never know. I'll just build him down in there.
I'm going to build a wall of bottles.
It will just keep my stash in the wall. Okay.
It's a bold strategy.
It is a bold strategy. I do not recommend it. You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville and Overreaction Monday from week 1 in the NFL. Last night on Sunday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
Special teams, defense, all of it, and just pummeled the New York Giants 40-0. That's hard to do.
I got duped by the hook, and I'm really angry at myself over it. I have the Dallas Cowboys, the 1 seed in the NFC, and I picked against them in the first week of the season. I got what I deserved.
Yes.
Because I was a dumb one. I saw that, and I got cute, and that was a stupid thing to do.
The New York Giants offensive line was absolutely terrible. The right side of the line especially. Evan Neal and Glowinski, I think, is the right guard. Ugh, I mean, they got obliterated all night long. Begs the question, is Dallas this good, or is New York this bad? Or was it just a bad day to have a bad day?
Well, I mean, I've told you, I can't figure out the Giants. I can't figure out why so many people are on the Giants. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Because the team's not very good. All right, they've got talent, but are they better than the Cowboys?
No.
We can definitively say that after last night.
No.
Are they better than the Eagles?
No.
They're much closer to Washington than they are to the other two.
I would agree.
The schedule is evil. And what I saw last night was horror-awful Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He got paid, and he reverted back to everything he has ever been. Do you know what his QBR was last night?
17.
You're too high. It was a good old solid 8.
Wonderful.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, it is. It is. And is that just because the Dallas defense was that good, putting the pressure on him, that it forced him back into those bad habits?
Well, I mean, the Dallas defense was phenomenal.
I mean, 7
sacks.
7 sacks. They intercepted him twice. They blocked a kick, returned it for a touchdown. They had a pick 6 in the game.
It was genuinely hard to watch.
And I
had Brian Haynes right beside me for all of it.
And they forced, 5 fumbles? That's insanity.
Did you happen to see that Kadarius Toney reactivated his Twitter account?
Did he?
Yeah, you know what he activated it for?
What's that?
To get his pound of flesh out of all the Brian Hayneses of the world. All the Giant fans that enjoyed his terrible night with Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he trolled them for 3 solid hours.
That's a bold strategy.
Deflect. Because what are you going to say? Yeah, you got dog-walked. And my fear for the Giants is I think they have some talented players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know who you're supposed to beat. We talked about this in the preseason. You go up and down that schedule, and it's hard to find a lot of wins.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you play the Cardinals next week.
Awesome. So you're going to be 1-1. Then you go at the 49ers, Seahawks, at the Dolphins, at the Bills. That's 1-5. That's 1-5 written all over it.
Yes, it does.
And then as you go down the schedule, you still got the Jets. You got to go to the Cowboys, that Patriots team that did not look like a lot of fun to play, at the Saints, that Packers team that didn't look like it was a lot of fun to play, at the Eagles, and then the Eagles again. Plus,
you throw in the Rams, who didn't look horrible in their opener against Seattle.
There's a lot of losses on that schedule, and I don't.
There are. And we saw this. We felt like this was going to be the team last year, right? They were just going to be god awful, and then they came out and won the first 5 games of the year, went 5-0, ended up limping to a 9-8 record down the stretch.
The most fatal mistake that you can ever make in the NFL is paying a non-elite quarterback elite quarterback money.
Yes,
and that's exactly what the Giants are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the receivers are not. I'll be as nice here as I can. They're not good.
Mm-hmm.
There was no separation last night. Gilmore looked 25 years old again. And I'm just afraid that what you saw last night's going to be very indicative of the year. I mean, I don't think they're going to beat 40-0 routinely, but I don't think they score well. I don't think they score easily, and it's going to be just a slushy mess.
Well, especially
because you can't get behind. That's what turns Daniel Jones into that. When you go down early, like they did last night, and he has to throw, and I can just pin my ears back. I mean, the Cowboys are up 26-0 at halftime. They're up 16-0 at the end of the first quarter. Running game's gone. And it was effective. You just had to get away from it because you had to score.
Yep.
And so to answer your question, yes, I think the Dallas Cowboys are that good. They're the best team in the NFC, and I'm not sure it's all that close. You're going to say Philadelphia? Yeah. Philadelphia doesn't want anything of what I saw last night.
I still think Philadelphia is the better team in this division, but it's much closer than it was last year.
Okay.
I mean, you got to give Dallas their credit because I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting you to come out and be that dominant.
I expected them to win. I didn't expect them to just embarrass the Giants.
And lo and behold, let's see. What was the one of the best pickups that they made in the offseason?
Stephon Gilmore.
He had what, 2 interceptions in that game last night? Offensive side of the ball, they went Brandon Cooks. He looked pretty decent. I mean, I know he only caught 2 balls, but you can see how that's going to develop over time. If Dak Prescott
Gilmore only had 1 interception last time.
Oh, did he?
Bland had the other one.
I thought he may have dropped 1. Maybe I thought I saw him get 2, but there again, I was trying to keep one eye open before I had to.
Me too.
Go
for
night,
a completely different reason.
100%. But if Dak Prescott can be efficient with this team, then they're going to win a lot of games, and they will push Philadelphia at the top of that division. But I still feel like Philadelphia is better, and I'll say this, we talked about this earlier with them only beating New England by 5. Sometimes you're going to have that. Sometimes you're going to have a little rust when you don't play guys in the preseason, and that's really the only thing I could chalk that up to for Philadelphia.
If the Jets win tonight, Jets Cowboys next week is game of the week.
I thought it already was.
It probably is, but the hype, if the Jets were to come out and look really impressive tonight.
Oh, yeah.
You talk about America's game of the week. You'll start hearing commercials for that 11:01 tonight.
Yeah. And under.
Yeah.
Because those defenses against each other, I don't think too many points will be scored in that game.
That's an old school football game.
That is. That is a slobber knocker of a football game.
I'm trying to find what the line on that is. 45.5. Under by a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely see that being a 35-ish kind of a game. I was not expecting 40-0 for the Dallas Cowboys over the New York Giants. New York Giants weren't expecting that either. Hopefully the home opener for the New York Jets goes much better on tonight's Monday Night Football matchup with the Buffalo Bills. That'd be embarrassing. Have both New York teams get blown out at home.
There you go. You just keep speaking those things into existence. Stay off our bandwagon. We don't have a seat.
We do. I'm not getting on your bandwagon. I'm not getting on your Florida State bandwagon.
Oh, that's one you should probably be trying to hide somewhere to get on that one. 'Cause that one's going to get a little crowded.
Yeah, I don't need to. You get 2 national championships.
So do I.
That's fine.
Yeah, so do I. And my 2 mean, actually, we got 3. My 3 mean just as much as yours do this year.
That is very true. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. The San Francisco 49ers. We didn't spend much time talking about them earlier in the program. We mentioned it.
Might have been intentional.
We mentioned it for a moment, but I mean, the way that they were able to come out and handle Pittsburgh says a lot to me. The fact that Brock Purdy looked again like he did at the end of the regular season last year speaks a lot to me. I know you're not ready to admit that he is a decent quarterback, but he made plays.
He's got
it between the ears to know what he's doing in this system and to find the open guys and just to make it work. That's all I need you to do.
He looked really good yesterday. I will admit that. He looked really good yesterday.
So what would concern me? What should concern San Francisco fans? Or should anything concern them right now?
Well, I mean, looking at your schedule, you go at the Rams this week, Giants, Cardinals. You should be 4-0, and you really shouldn't break that much of a sweat. So, I mean, the thing that would concern me is what happens when you get behind. Yesterday was just let the good times roll. They scored early, they scored often, and it's much easier to play with a lead than it is to play from behind. He was good. Is it going to change what I've seen on tape for the last 5 years? No. No, it's not. I mean, I still think he is a mediocre to average quarterback that played within the confines of the system, and that works.
It does. And it really helps when Christian McCaffrey can do his thing, and you got Brandon Ayuk just playing Mr. Vacuum Cleaner.
Well, I mean, you did that, and Deebo Samuel didn't do much, and George Kittle was largely irrelevant.
And eventually, and I think that's where I look at San Francisco and go, that wasn't even the best we could see out of them.
No.
If Brock can spread the ball around better than that, and George gets involved, and Deebo gets involved, the sky is the limit for this team.
It is. And look, they played phenomenally well. And it's really a credit to Kyle Shanahan. It's like I said earlier, smart coaches tend to look really good in week one.
And now next week's game at SoFi Stadium with the LA Rams looks a whole lot more appealing than it did 2 weeks ago.
It's certainly a lot more palatable. At least somebody should watch that game. Before we go to break, new member of the House of Reprehensibles, Derek Sexton, who was our winner that went to App State, Carolina this weekend, and saw one whale of a finish.
That he did. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. It is Overreaction Monday, as we do on every Monday of the football season. Our daily draft coming up after the Sports Center update. Going to be all about stock up, stock down from the weekend, pro football, college football, all of it on the table. Plus, we'll talk some NFC South in the next hour as well. Plus, all your comments and the YouTube stream next. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, "I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye neti pot, hello Navage." End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Don't miss Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's incredible fall sale. Call now and mention ESPN Asheville to get 3 rooms cleaned for $129. Or schedule online at ZeroResAsheville.com. That's ZeroResAsheville.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick and mortar stores. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
One of my favorite segments, I got 5 on it. My favorite parlay of the night. One game, Monday Night Football, Buffalo Bills at my New York Jets. I really think this is going to be a defensive matchup, not a ton of scoring. I like Aaron Rodgers tonight. I like some of the ancillary pieces for the Bills. Don't love Stephon Diggs because he's going up against Ahmad Sauce Gardner. Now, under 21.5 for both the Jets and the Bills. I don't think either team scores more than 21 points, and it's probably first one to 21 wins. I've got this game 21-20 with the Jets winning, so give me under 21.5 for the Bills and the Jets individual total team points. Over 224.5 passing yards for Aaron Rodgers, under 249.5 for Josh Allen. If you parlay all those together at betus.com, plus 1,200 odds. That will take your $5 wager and make it 60 US doll hairs. Let's make it a profitable night. Take all these wagers to betus.com. Use our promo code Sportsocracy to get a 125% deposit match on your initial bonus and wager the NFL with us all season long.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under mostly sunny skies, stray showers and storms pop in for the afternoon as we hit the low 80s today. Now for tonight, patchy fog rolls back in late, partly cloudy otherwise, low near 60. We keep that widespread fog with us early for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies, slight chance of afternoon showers and storms and a high of 81. Wednesday, partly sunny, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. We go up to 77. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say good night to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
The countdown is on to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The most massive live music event of the year.
Friday and Saturday, September 22nd and 23rd at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. Experience more of the music you love with the record-breaking 5G network. T-Mobile customers can unlock VIP benefits at the festival all weekend long. It's better over here. See why at T-Mobile.com/SEEWHY.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Over
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
The Sportsocracy.
We're just dumping a bag of hammers.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
We're just getting started.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is the Sportsocracy live on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Take us with you everywhere you go. Seen live on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. It is an Overreaction Monday after week 1 in the NFL, week 2 officially in college football, despite the fact that there are some teams that have played 3 times already. I still think that's dumb that we do that. If you're going to start the season, start at week 1. Don't give me this week 1 has 2 games for some teams.
You know what a lot of people seem to like? New time. Joe Woods, Notorious B.I.G., all of them saying, hey, this is lovely. It's great for us, too. I just inhaled a taco, though. I'm pretty sure I got some fire sauce on my face. I'm looking at myself in the camera, and I can't figure out exactly where it is. So if you see me just pawing at myself,
feel the burn. Feel the burn. I think you got it right there on the old cheek right there.
That's fine. That's the one big adjustment we're going to have to figure out is, hey, when do we eat now? Because I can't figure it out. Like, do I have breakfast at 11 o'clock in the morning, or do I wait until 3? Because my stomach was eating itself.
Yes. I think I felt like there was a time in that last hour where my stomach growled so loud it came through my headphones, and I apologize if anybody thought that there was a bear in the studio at the same time. But it's an adjustment for us all. We're learning some new things about our time slot here. Apparently, we don't have Sports Center updates during this time slot. So.
Nope. And there's no traffic because you're all at work.
That's right. So that's like 9 minutes of extra content each and every day that we're giving to you absolutely free just by tuning into us earlier here in the Sportsocracy. Inside the Ingalls studio, low prices. Love the savings. Yes, let's get into the daily draft. We do this at the top of the 3rd hour of the program each and every day. And on Mondays, it's always stock up, stock down from the weekend. So, Jeremy, number 1 pick?
Well, I'm going to tie this into a super chat from our buddy Soaring Eagle. He said, did you guys talk about the Broncos yet? Because I got to say this. If we lose against Washington next week, we need to fire George Payton immediately. And that is my number 1 stock down of the weekend. The Denver Broncos.
For losing to the Las Vegas Raiders.
How about that? Wasn't that pretty? Didn't you just love every second of that? Let's ride. There is nothing that I like about that Bronco team.
No.
I tried to tell you.
It did not look good.
You and Chief Zach almost audibly made fun of me when I took the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, weird. That was one of my heaviest wagers of the week. What was on the Raiders, and I had them in the money on.
Yeah, I could not wrap my head around how that was going to happen, but apparently that offense is that bad. The Denver Broncos offense
don't do anything
is terrible.
I mean, yeah, Russell Wilson, 27-34, awesome. He averaged 5 yards a throw.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to dink and dunk your way through life, good luck. But you're not good enough defensively. I mean, look, they stifled Josh Jacobs. And the Raiders really showed a path that I think you're going to see a lot against the Broncos this year. Hey, who is Pat Surtain on? Oh, it's Devontae Adams. Cool, we'll go to the other guy. Jacoby Myers, 8 for 81 or 9 for 81, 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see a lot of teams do that. Jahan Dotson. If you're playing in DFS, that's a name you should probably chalk up for next week.
I got you. Denver's not going to they don't look like a team that can win very many games. We didn't think they were going to be a team.
Did anything look wildly different about that team with Sean Payton?
No, and that's the problem that I have, is that I go here again, the royal we, felt like Sean Payton coming in was going to make a market impact, and we were going to see a vast improvement in this team, and that just did not happen.
The Denver Donkeys has a really good point. Hey, you probably shouldn't cut a good kicker and bring in one that just Sean Payton likes to go have beers with. Because Will Lutz, oopsie poopsie. Oops. Look, I watch coaches do this all the time, and I have a little bit more of a connection to Denver than a lot of people know. It ain't good. There's nothing that's going on in that building right now that makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Mims, I might have been wrong on him. Because he's the only player that looked like he could consistently get open, and he only had 2 catches.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot of Adam Troutman and just all these guys that Sean knows. You're trying to recreate the Saints in Denver. I got news for you. That Saints team, which was good, you're getting all the mediocre pieces.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Michael Thomas here. There's no Drew Brees here. And to me, it looks like a really wish version of the Saints, and I don't think it's any good. I told you, I had the Broncos were my favorite under of the year. People are buying it. Oh, by the way, you remember when your coach decided that he wanted to be cute and make jokes about the Jets?
Yes.
Yeah. That's coming real fast.
We got 2 weeks. Is that week 3?
That's week 5.
Week 5.
Yeah, that's week 5. You play the Commanders this week, then you go at the Dolphins, at the Bears, and then you catch the Jets. Could be 1-5, 1-4.
Right.
And then you go at the Chiefs. That's 1-5.
My big stock down for the weekend, or I'm going to take my number 1 stock down from the weekend in the pro ranks, because I'm going to take another one coming up next in the college ranks. But the first one in the pro ranks, there could not have been a worse start for a team other than the Seattle Seahawks after you got demolished by the LA Rams, who we talked about did not have Cooper Kupp. And as soon as Cooper Kupp went out, we all went, okay, well, LA's just tanking for the number 1 pick. And they're going up against Seattle, who's a team that many of us believe in. And somehow that Seahawks defense allowed Matt Stafford to rip them apart with Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell.
By the way, Puka Nacua, dog! That's one of those that you got to be real careful when you start hearing all these things about guys in the preseason, because you hear all the hype and then they just fade off into the ether. That's one that you should believe.
Mm-hmm.
You should believe in it because he is good at the footballs.
Yep. My next stock down, pick 2 here in the daily draft, is going to be from the college ranks. And it's not necessarily like a, oh, my God, panic button choice.
It should be, because I know what you're getting ready to say.
It's Alabama.
100%.
See, but I don't know how bad that is. I mean, you lost to Texas, who I already believed they were the top team in the Big 12. They were going to be in the discussion at the end of the year, up in this top 5 discussion.
You didn't just get beat. You got frog stomped by Texas. I don't care what the score is. I never doubted Texas was winning that game.
And I did not either. But there again, where I guess I pump the brakes on this, is I look at Alabama and go, how many games are you going to lose? 4?
You have a huge problem.
Okay.
You get into shootouts, your defense is not good enough to stop good offenses. Got news for you. You got one coming in 2 weeks. Ole Miss, they can score. They scored 37 points on a really talented Tulane team in their house.
Mm-hmm.
And I got news for you. That defense looked exponentially better than yours. Kool-Aid, dog. Other side, not so much. You come up against anybody that can score, you can lose.
Mm-hmm.
That is how bad Jalen Milroe was. And I'll be honest with you, it really started to irritate me as I progressed through that game, and they kept talking about, oh, well, Jalen Milroe's a frozen rope. No, none of those were frozen ropes. And if they were horribly inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
Horribly inaccurate. So, I mean, I'm looking at Tennessee. I'm looking at LSU. Both those games are in Tuscaloosa,
mm-hmm.
and so is Ole Miss. That's the only thing. That's your only saving grace. I look at them and go, what would happen to you if you had to play one of these high-end teams right now? Florida State that scores really easily. Michigan that can just grind you out. Georgia that I don't know what Carson Beck is, but there's talent on that team.
Yep.
What would USC do to Alabama right now?
Put up 40.
I'm not sure it's not higher than that.
Could be.
Texas put up 34 on them, and I'm not even sure how good that offense is. It's really fast. But I've never seen a Nick Saban defense have that many guys that are just wide open. It was dumbfounding to me. By the way, more Matthew McConaughey. Let's get on that. I'm a big fan of Matthew McConaughey calling Texas games like that.
Yeah, it was definitely a letdown for those who believe that Alabama was still in the upper echelon. They're just outside the upper echelon now, and it'll be a dogfight. After they picked up the loss, it'll be a dogfight for them to be in the conversation at the end of the season. But we all know it's Nick Saban, Alabama. They're going to be in the discussion.
I don't think that.
I mean, unless they pick up the 4 losses that you're talking about.
They have 4 losable games. I don't think they're in the discussion. I think you're completely irrelevant at this point. You don't have enough good wins on the schedule. Even let's say they go 11-1. You got smoked by Texas.
Yep.
I just don't.
But if those other
I
teams,
don't see it.
But if those other teams are still good, like if Tennessee's still in the top 10, or if LSU's still close to the top 10, Ole Miss is still up there, and they get wins over those guys, then yeah, you'll look at them at the end of the season and go, okay, you slipped up against Texas. They paid you back for last year, but you figured it out down the stretch. And then
you'll go into the SEC championship game and get absolutely demolished by Georgia.
You very well could.
Good luck with that. To me, Alabama, completely irrelevant.
Okay.
Enjoy the Sugar Bowl or wherever you end up this year. I mean, yeah, it's still a good bowl. You'll still probably play on New Year's Day. You're not going to threaten the playoff, to me, in any way.
Okay.
I'm really shocked that you didn't take these 2 teams, and I'm going to take them back to back.
Okay.
The Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Giants. Aggressive stock down. It's one thing to get beat. All right, Seattle got beat. But I feel like Seattle sleptwalked, maybe believed some of their own press clippings. The Giants and the Steelers got physically dominated. The 49ers came out, punched them in the mouth, and then just kept doing it for 60 minutes. There was never 1 second where I legitimately thought, oh, Pittsburgh's going to get back in this game. Kenny Pickett looked awful. I mean, he looked like the kid that I saw coming out of Pittsburgh that I had a 4th-round grade on. He looked every bit of that, if not worse. Receivers didn't get open consistently. Offensive line got shredded. And then you put that defense out there, which I thought was your calling card, and you let Brock Purdy make you look like 11 junior high schoolers. It was hard to watch. Amy wouldn't even come down the stairs to enjoy football with us at the porch because she was rocking a Steelers jersey. She's like, I'm not doing this till this is over. And then the Giants trot out on national television, first Sunday night game of the year. All this hype. Now you got Darren Waller. All these guys are a year older, and you weren't even competitive. The Dallas Cowboys came out and crushed you. And people will say, oh, they're not ready for primetime. I'm not sure they're ready for any time. That's not a playoff team. There is nothing that I saw last night that makes me go, yep, that's a team that can make it to the playoffs. And even if somehow you snuck your way in, you will get killed by anybody that's good. You just don't do anything well. You didn't get after the passer last night. You didn't protect Daniel Jones at all, and he looks horror-awful. So for me, those are the 2, without a doubt, easiest of the weekend, brutally awful.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the Stock Up, Stock Down daily draft here on an Overreaction Monday on ESPN Asheville.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Want to save on new blinds? Blindster.com offers custom blinds, shades, and shutters at prices less than big box retailers. Order 10 free samples of any product and we'll ship them to you for free. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
You know when you wake up and your mouth feels gross and you just can't wait to brush your teeth to get that clean, fresh feeling again? That's exactly how millions of Navage users feel when they use powered suction to rinse out their noses every day, just like brushing their teeth. Once you're able to breathe deeply without congestion, you never want to be without it. That's why so many people rave about Navage, with over 100,000 online reviews. Feel the Navage difference for yourself. In less than a minute a day, you'll feel immediate relief from seasonal allergies and congestion after the very first use. Navage will also help you sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier, naturally, without drugs. Start breathing clearly again with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on Around the NFL. Win bragging rights at this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Brand new time slot, 12 to 3 from here on out, weekday afternoons in the Ingles studio.
We are going to have to figure out this whole food thing. I have crammed down 2 tacos in the last 2 commercial breaks, and in the next one, I for those of you watching us on the YouTube, this is a new Mexican pizza that has jalapenos on it.
Ooh, did I get one of those?
You did.
Yes.
You did. And, yeah.
It's just calling your name.
Yeah.
You can't even stop fingering it. That's just why. Don't play with your food.
Well, I got Mexican pizza sauce on my hand. What do you want me to do? Just use a napkin? No, that's a waste.
Yeah, that is very true.
It's got extra beef and extra Mexican pizza sauce. And let's go.
Wasting the flavor if you use the napkin. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville in the midst of the daily draft. It's always on Mondays, stock up, stock down from the weekend. So far, Jeremy's gone stock down 3 times in a row. Denver, Pittsburgh, and New York. The Giants, obviously the Jets, playing tonight on Monday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills. I've gone stock down for Seattle in the pros and Alabama after they lost to Texas over the weekend. Now I'm going to go back-to-back stock ups. One from college, or I'm going Colorado Buffaloes, because I believed in you after you beat TCU, and I didn't think that game with Nebraska was going to be close. I'll be honest with you. I feel like I think I've watched 89% of this game on Saturday, and I was thinking, oh, well, we got it wrong in the first half. It was close. Nebraska's defense was playing okay, and Colorado was a little shaky, and then the second half came, and it was just no doubt who was the better team, as Colorado went on to win pretty handily. And I feel like you're planting that flag now.
Well,
even more.
Well, Colorado to me was a real easy over in terms of wins in the futures market. I mean, you got too many talented players to win 3 games. So that part was easy. Now I'm looking at the schedule going, there's not a lot of losses here.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I think you're going to handle Colorado State quite easily. Then you go to Oregon. I've already planted my flag that I think they're going to beat Oregon in Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
That USC game is in Colorado. Then you go Arizona State, Stanford, at UCLA, who's not bad. Oregon State, Arizona, at Washington State, at Utah. There's a possibility that this team wins double-digit games.
They could.
I don't think that's that untoward at this point.
No. I mean, especially if the offense is going to keep putting up 500 yards every week. You're going to beat a lot of teams. You're going to have to I mean, you're going to have to prove it because you've got Oregon and USC in 2 out of the next 3 weeks. So we're going to find out just exactly how good you are. But I wonder if this is the blueprint, right? This is the next blueprint for the evolution of college football. More coaches are going to play even harder into the transfer portal.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. You're showing that it can be done.
Yeah, you can swipe. You can scrub an entire team and bring one in, and as long as you've got a good coach, you can have them winning at a high level relatively quickly.
I have a question, and I'm going to ask you as not the talent evaluator, and then I will answer it after you do.
Okay.
How many quarterbacks that will be in the 2024 NFL draft would you take over Shedeur Sanders?
I don't know. I mean,
Caleb
would be one. I would probably. Actually, I don't know. That might be it at this point. I mean, I don't.
Not even Drake May.
Well, look, I haven't seen Drake May be great yet, but I felt like Shedeur has looked great 2 weeks in a row. Now maybe
and he has. So I think you're jumping the shark here. You're going way too high.
Maybe. Okay.
Our buddy Pat McAfee literally just said he should be the 3rd pick in the draft. Pat, I love you, buddy. No, he should not under any circumstances. He's really raw.
Mm-hmm.
He's super talented, and he's got a really solid arm. His footwork leaves a lot to be desired when things break down. He does that I'm going to turn my back to the line thing way too often. And even with all that, the raw in him, I think he could be a first-round pick. I really do. I think he can be a first-round pick. I don't want him to go in the top 10 because that's, okay, now I'm going to play immediately.
But where do you have him? 4 or 5?
He would be my quarterback 5 right now.
Okay. So you got Caleb, Drake, Quinn, Michael Penix?
No. I've got, who do I have ahead of him? J.J. McCarthy, maybe?
Okay.
And I could easily see him passing McCarthy. I don't see him passing the top 3. I think he will be the 4th quarterback if he comes out this year, and I'm not sure of that under any circumstance.
Okay, so he's
because
your
to
5.
me, if I were him, I would stay at Colorado and come out next year in a lesser quarterback class. You get those reps, which are really important. I mean, you got to understand, he played at Jackson State.
Yeah, you got to win at a high level for a while.
I don't even care about winning at a high level. You got to play at a high level. You got to play against a high level. And I think he would benefit from coming back, and he very well could be the number 1 quarterback in the following class.
Okay.
My fear is that everybody's going to get amped up about him, and he winds up going. And the 3 overall that's too high.
You don't have your guy Jordan Travis behind him, or do you?
What do you mean behind him? Yeah, Jordan Travis
as a prospect.
He's a 4th, 5th round prospect.
Is he? Okay.
I like him a lot as a college quarterback. He's another one. He does that. I turn my back to the line. And in the NFL, that's how you get cut in half.
Okay.
Like Dewey Cox's little brother. And it doesn't go well.
Right.
But where I did not think Shedeur had – I didn't think he had first-round NFL talent. He definitively has that. He's just a little further away in terms of he does things that you don't expect to see a high-level first-round prospect do, and you're going to have to refine that out, but the way you do that's with reps.
Yeah.
You're going to do that, look at me spin around or look at me dance around and hold the ball. He also has a really bad tell with when he pats the ball that you're going to have to break him up because in the NFL they will annihilate you for doing that. I've seen many quarterbacks.
He was not on my radar before this, and he is now.
I thought he was draftable. I didn't see first-round talent. He's really good at football. And with some work, full year starting, maybe another one, I could see it being pretty good. We have a super chat from our buddy Soren Eagle, who said Colorado State's going to be a violation of the Geneva Convention. I don't disagree with you in any way. That's probably going to end real bad.
Buffalo's by 1 billion. Let's go. Colorado's up to number 18 this week in the poll. At least in the AP poll, they're up to number 18. Stock up definitely for Dion and the rest of his crew. Now, stock up for the Miami Dolphins in the NFL. I mean, I know you had the firepower to outscore pretty much anybody in the NFL. And the fact that I keep seeing a healthy Tua Tagovailoa put up the stats that he's put up while he's been healthy. Remember, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL last year before he had the injuries, before he missed all the weeks with the concussions and all of that. He threw for 466 against the Los Angeles Chargers. And you could say, okay, well, Brandon Staley's bad at running a team and coordinating a defense all at once. All you want to. 466 is a hell of a number to be throwing up. And when you've got Tyreek Hill and you've got Jalen Waddle, you're going to be able to do that pretty much whenever you want to, save for maybe when you face Philadelphia or the New York Jets, teams that have more than one corner to throw out at you. Although the Chargers were supposed to, but apparently they don't. I got to go stock up for Tua, stock up for Tyreek. That whole Miami offense is going to be terrifying all year long.
I agree with you. There's one you haven't taken, and it blows my mind.
Okay.
It's stock up for the old hook 'em Texas Longhorns. This was the game we had to see you win.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew you were talented, but you had gotten to a point that we've always talked about Clemsoning. You've been Texasing for quite some time.
Yes.
Not anymore. You're the fastest team in America, I think. You're the fastest team I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be an absolute nightmare to game plan from a defensive point of view. And I'm not going to lie to you, that defense was flying around. They had several guys that I watch college football a little differently than the average person. If I sit down and watch a full game, I got a notepad in front of me and I'm making notes. There were 4 guys for Texas that I looked at and went, that's first-round potential. You have first-round NFL talent. And then I have to go down and crunch through when are you coming out and things like that. But I saw 4 first-round draft picks on Texas defense. And we haven't talked about that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That front 7 is evil. Evil. It's one of the best wins I've seen from any team in college football in a long time. Because you needed it real bad.
Yep.
And then my other is a stock up, and it was my most impressive team of the weekend, the Cleveland Browns. I tried to tell you. But Deshaun Watson was good last year. Yeah, I know. I'm aware of that. He was also away from the team for 11 weeks. Weird. With an offseason, offense looked a lot better. With an actual defensive coordinator, looked a lot better.
I was going to say, but was he good?
He was fine.
Okay.
He did exactly what he was asked to do. Now, do I think he's going to be a prolific fantasy quarterback? Maybe not. I thought he was. I had him throwing 46, 47, some odd 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I may have overshot that.
Right.
But he doesn't have to.
No.
You play defense like that, you run the ball like that, you just come in, you throw a touchdown every now and then, don't turn the ball over. All I want you to do.
That sounds oddly familiar. Like my last stock up of the weekend, it's the San Francisco 49ers. Jeremy refuses to believe it, but Brock Purdy, he's not bad. He's not bad at football at all. He's got it between the ears. He knows what he's doing in this San Francisco offense, and it works.
Okay.
He looked really good yesterday.
And I don't dispute anything you just said.
Mm-hmm.
He is a top blank quarterback in the NFL.
I got 20.
Name me the last time a 20th best quarterback in the NFL won a Super Bowl.
2002.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer. End of message, repeat the line.
Right.
And before anybody says Joe Flacco, he played like the MVP in the playoffs.
He did.
So, am I telling you he can't be an NFL quarterback? No. I'm saying this is a team that has a finite championship window, and you're turning it over to the 20th best quarterback in the NFL.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm not going to like it. Awesome. You had a great first week. Win a game in the playoffs, and we'll talk. Beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
And before you go, boy, he beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys really beat themselves because they couldn't score. Your defense won that. Did Brock Purdy win that? No. And that's my problem. I don't think he can do that when it comes down to it.
I agree.
You win a game week one of the regular season, awesome. For the Detroit Lions, that's shoot off streamers and fireworks.
Yeah.
For the San Francisco 49ers, I've had 9 quarterbacks that could do that in the last 5 years.
Yes. Look, I've never.
We just ran Jimmy Garoppolo out of town, who was the second highest rated quarterback in the NFL this week, because he couldn't win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I got watching the Raiders. Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Brock Purdy, and I don't think it's all that close.
Okay.
Way more expensive, and I get that.
He is. He's way more expensive, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but you got to give it to him. He was one of the best, or I guess one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL this past week. And as long as you have Brandon Ayuk to lean on, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, obviously he helps everybody look better on that offense. And they showed up in Pittsburgh and just road stomped them. And good for you. And now let's see you do it again. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Coming up next, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under mostly sunny skies, stray showers and storms pop in for the afternoon as we hit the low 80s today. Now for tonight, patchy fog rolls back in late, partly cloudy otherwise, low near 60. We keep that widespread fog with us early for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies, slight chance of afternoon showers and storms and a high of 81. Wednesday, partly sunny, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. We go up to 77. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Want to save on new blinds? Blindster.com offers custom blinds, shades, and shutters at prices less than big box retailers. Order 10 free samples of any product and we'll ship them to you for free. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
Today's news requires more facts, more context, and more analysis. The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
You know when you wake up and your mouth feels gross and you just can't wait to brush your teeth to get that clean, fresh feeling again? That's exactly how millions of Navage users feel when they use powered suction to rinse out their noses every day, just like brushing their teeth. Once you're able to breathe deeply without congestion, you never want to be without it. That's why so many people rave about Navage, with over 100,000 online reviews. Feel the Navage difference for yourself. In less than a minute a day, you'll feel immediate relief from seasonal allergies and congestion after the very first use. Navage will also help you sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier, naturally, without drugs. Start breathing clearly again with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP,
The Beast Unleashed.
with 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pre-game ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
Back in the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy Green.
Eat Mexican pizzas. Or don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes. I was trying to stretch that out as much as possible. You're still trying to swallow.
Oh, my God. I mean, look, on the scale, the normal Mexican pizza is an 8.5.
Okay.
The cheesy jalapeno Mexican pizza is like a 19. Just, good Lord, that is wonderful.
Kicks it up another notch. We're Jeremy's scarfing down the lunch in between the commercial breaks here, in between the segments here, because we're not real sure how to handle the eating schedule with this new 12 to 3 time slot here on ESPN Asheville.
I had breakfast, but it was a little late, and then I wasn't hungry at lunch. We gotta get regimented in the schedule.
That's right. But it is time to talk about the most important message of the day, which is
don't do crimes.
There you go, without food in your mouth. Good job. There is a manhunt going on in Pennsylvania. Have you seen this story, Jeremy? Guy a week and a half ago broke out of a southeastern Pennsylvania prison. His name is Danilo Cavalcante, and he is still on the loose. This morning, police giving the update saying that he has apparently broken through the search perimeter that they have been trying to find this guy at. He is a convicted murderer. And have you seen the video of how he broke out?
I have not.
Of prison. So he found a spot next to the wall of the prison where the corridor for the doorway was smaller than him. So he did that thing that you see in like cartoons where he put his feet on one side of the wall, hands on the other side of the wall, and just like shimmied up the wall out of sight. And then somehow crawled through the barbed wire that was on top of the prison wall and has just led police on this week and a half manhunt where they have no idea where he is. They've been trying to, I'm not going to say they don't have any idea where he is. They've been following him as he stole a dairy delivery van, to try to get away from the police. He has contacted some of his acquaintances around the area to try to help him flee. Hopefully they will be bringing him in and bringing him to justice very soon, hopefully before someone else gets terribly hurt, which it's never a good idea. Or it's never a good thing, obviously, when you have a convicted killer on the loose. But yeah, if you have not seen the video of him shimmying up the wall, it's definitely worth a Google.
My story is from Ogden, Utah. It's about a man named Brendan Michael Powell, 25 years old, and he flies a drone. Heard a commotion. So, of course, as you would do, he sends out his drone to see what the commotion was. Well, the commotion was a 31-year-old man in his car. He flies the drone right beside the car, and at some point, the drone hit the car. Person gets out of the car, picks up the drone, and apparently runs away from Mr. Powell whilst holding his drone. What was his response? He shot him 7 times. That's a lot over a drone.
This is aggressive.
Also, don't be weird flying drones around people. Just don't fly them, period. I thought we were going to limit this to, like, the government, and now you've got every jerk with a vape pen that's got a drone that's just flying around. We had one fly around Radio Ranch the other day. I was like, stay right there for just a second. I have a thing for that, but I'm going to have to go retrieve it. So...
Don't do crimes, Jeremy.
Oh, yeah. You fly one of those around my house, you're going to learn that Jeremy is not a citizen of the state of New Mexico. I'm well armed, and it ain't concealed, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I'm going to give you another one. Good for you. Keeping up on your current events.
When it comes to that, to my favorite amendment, which is that second one, anything that infringes upon that, I get alerts on the old Facebook.
Don't do crimes. Slasher in the YouTube comments says Chester County is like 20 minutes from where he lives. Said the dude was apparently a Brazilian immigrant, so he wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of cartel connection going on. Yeah, I mean, you never know where that search can go. But
Nope.
Hey, that's only 20 minutes away from you, Slasher. Keep your doors locked, okay?
Yeah,
because I don't want to be anywhere near that. Shoo, that freaks me out.
Hey, and don't fly drones. Hey, maybe go inside and play video games. You don't need to see what's going on over here.
It is Overreaction Monday here in the Sportsocracy. Week 1 of the NFL season is almost in the books. We got one more to go tonight.
Best one of the weekend.
Yep. I mean, it's got all the makings of it. You're going to have all of the, the pageantry and emotion possible in tonight's Monday Night Football game, being in New York on 9/11. You'll have, of course, Aaron Rodgers making his debut, the most anticipated debut of a New York Jets player of all time.
Captain Ayahuasca, let's go.
You can say what you want to about Brett Favre when he came in, but I feel like the hype's bigger for Aaron. Am I wrong?
Oh, yeah. Oh, undeniably.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to get that from the horse's mouth, so to speak. The Carolina Panthers did not win the opener. Didn't come close to winning the opener. Yeah, Bryce Young threw one good pass to Hayden Hurst for a touchdown in the second quarter. But in the end, it was Atlanta handling the Panthers 24-10 over the weekend. I still feel like that offensive line is not great for the Panthers.
It's not great. It's not good.
Yeah. I'm trying to be nice. You know me.
I'm not trying to be nice. That offensive line is a problem.
Yeah, they're not good. And
it was very
I don't
obvious
like it for Bryce.
It was very obvious they didn't have DJ Chark because they had nobody that threatened you over the top.
Mm-hmm.
When a safety has the kind of game Jesse Bates had, that should tell you there's nobody they're worried about over the top. And, I mean, I saw some good things from Bryce. Saw some things that are a little concerning, and that's a rookie. That's typically how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Turned in a QBR of 14.6 on the game.
It was one of the worst quarterback battles I think I've ever seen. Because Desmond Ridder he's
awful.
Woof.
If you had Tyler Algier as the number one rusher for the Atlanta Falcons, you're a witch.
No Cordero Patterson. He was down.
Mm-hmm.
Bijan Robinson, he did catch 6 passes.
He did.
For 27 yards. 10 carries. That's odd. It's an odd usage to me. And Algier was good, but, 2 touchdowns. Thanks for that. Thanks for a whole lot of nothing there, Tyler Algier.
Hey, you could have played him on your fantasy team.
I could have in the Vampire League because I didn't get to draft a team, and it's bad.
It's as bad as we all thought it would be. For
I'm going
Jeremy
to end up
Gray,
having to get a stupid tattoo that all of you conspire.
which we're all excited about.
I'm sure.
I mean, if I have to get one at the end of the season, I'll be glad that you get one as well. Brian Burns stuck out in that game. I mean, he's the bright spot for the Carolina Panthers. By the way, pay him
a lot of money.
Pay that man his money and just move on. Let's stop playing this cat and mouse game. I don't want this to get to the point, not saying that it will, but I don't want it to get to the point where Brian Burns is like erasing you from his Instagrams and all that. Just get it done. Because he is the cornerstone, right? You had your chance. If you were not going to pay him, you had your chance to trade him and get something out of him, and you refused to do so. So what are we talking about? Pay the man.
I mean, the defense was good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's going to hold up against better teams, and you're about to find out.
Yeah.
Because the beginning of the schedule is real tough.
Yep. I did not think you were going to win this one anyway, just because I couldn't expect you to go on the road and win in Bryce's first start.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a slow roll to begin with, but I think Bryce is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I saw enough to say he is a franchise quarterback. He's just going to need some time.
Apparently, J.C. Horn is hurt again, which is not great.
He went out, I think, in the second quarter. By the way, we have breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Yeah, whatever that little dance was, you look like that elf for the Cleveland Browns, fat brother. Charter and ESPN have ended the blackout just in time for Monday Night Football.
Good for them.
It's a cause we can all get behind. Charter and ESPN came to each other and said, we cannot deprive the masses of seeing your Super Bowl champion, Jets.
It's only week one.
And if they win tonight, you're going to be in for a long day tomorrow.
Yes, I know.
Speaking of long days, did you happen to see one of my favorite things that ESPN does now is the troll report of all the things that NFL teams post on their social medias?
No, I have not seen this.
Cincinnati, the original FAFO scale, it's the line graph.
Yes.
They took that guy and screenshotted it, and they put the little Cleveland elf's face on his, and he's pointing at the scale. They changed it to mess around and find out, which I'm not a fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're all adults, and adults say bad words, so just okay.
They got to set the example, though.
Do they? Do they really?
I mean, kids use Twitter, right?
They shouldn't.
No,
they should not use Twitter.
I get not doing it.
Frankly, no one should use Twitter.
I don't want that.
Let alone children.
I don't want to be the one to have to go into that meeting. Right? Somebody in the front office sees that post and goes, "Excuse me, we need to have a meeting about what is proper on Twitter."
It's totally proper. You messed it up. Didn't do it right. It's not. It is not MAFO. Okay, FAFO. Oh.
So in the NFC South, we have 3 teams tied for the division lead right now.
Woo! Let's ride! Baker Mayfield, Cleveland, or Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, Atlanta Falcons 1-0. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 1-0 after beating the Minnesota Vikings 20-17 in a game that I don't know that anybody really wanted to win that game. I mean, Justin Jefferson did. Kirk Cousins did not. The offensive line for the Minnesota Vikings, I thought they were good. Well, they did not look good at all.
They're not good, and I tried to tell you that.
We were all over them, defensively speaking.
Mm-hmm. The Buccaneers are going to win too many games, so no joy for or tank.
Nope. Forever stuck in the quagmire that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, congratulations to Baker Mayfield. He starts out 1-0. Mike Evans, tried to tell you. He's going to have decent games all year long just because he's the only, he is the option. Chris Godwin, same thing. Not saying they're going to be great, just at least fantasy relevant as they were this past weekend. 20-17 win for Tampa doesn't change a damn thing.
Nope.
New Orleans Saints are 1-0. They struggled.
It was two good defenses, and that's just a horrifically bad Tennessee offense.
16-15 final score.
Ryan Tannehill, 16 of 34, 198 yards, 3 interceptions, 3 sacks. Awesome. Look, they're just not good. But Chris Olave, dog. And I hope you're heavily invested in him. Michael Thomas looked good in his return as well.
8 catches, 112 yards for Chris Olave. Derek Carr threw for over 300 in the game, and New Orleans escaped with the victory. Nothing has changed in the NFC South. I still feel like there's one decent team in the division, 2 big question marks, and I still feel like we're terrible.
Yeah, that's about right. You're going to win like 6 games, and it's going to make me laugh a lot. Jacksonville Jaguars smoked the Indianapolis Colts, as they should have.
As we predicted.
That offense is going to be real good. Calvin Ridley, real good. Indianapolis Colts, not real good.
I believe we covered all of them here in the Sportsocracy. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll take our last break of the hour, and when we come back, it's a new season, so it's time to dust off the I'm Mad. Jeremy's been working on one all day long because he had to hear all the chirping on social media after yesterday. We'll be right back.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
The countdown is on to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The most massive live music event of the year.
Friday and Saturday, September 22nd and 23rd at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. Experience more of the music you love with the record-breaking 5G network. T-Mobile customers can unlock VIP benefits at the festival all weekend long. It's better over here. See why at T-Mobile.com/SEEWHY.
Your floors can go from clean to dirty fast. From juice spills, whoops, to muddy paw prints, to little sticky finger marks. Good thing your Swiffer WetJet works fast too. Swiffer WetJet easily cleans everyday messes as quick as they happen. The next mess is right around the corner. So grab your Swiffer WetJet and just spray, push, all clean.
Welcome to this month's meeting of the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club. Bingo winners.
Bingo!
Instant winner.
Here.
Oh. Big money winners.
Yeah, I think they're in Tahiti.
Second chance winners. Second chance winners.
Present.
Every single time.
New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with over $98 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.70 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Dirty Turkish shark back flat. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. Shark back flat.
Let the hate flow through you.
All right. This is one of those things that has we have now gotten big enough as a show with the ESPN show and the TikTok and the YouTube and all those things. We put out gambling picks every week. All right. I'm going to get games wrong. However, if you take the preseason, where I was throwing out bangers, the first week of the regular season in college football, do you know how many games over 500 I am right now?
4.
It's 24.
Dang.
I crushed the preseason.
Nice.
That helps. So when I get one wrong, I expect a good amount of trolling. And that's fine. You can troll all you want to. I've been called Flostradamus many times.
Mm-hmm.
That's not original. You know what's really not original? That aged well. I swear to God, if I saw that once, I saw it 200 times. If you're going to say something, at least make it funny. At least make it have something instead of, this aged well, I'm funny. And then you just move on. Like, I'm going to start responding with a picture of my wife. I'm married to real-life Kelly Kapowski, and you're firing at me, this aged well, and you didn't even spell it right.
Misspelled hate
Misspelled
messages.
death
Yeah.
threats. I'm telling you, that is a segment that I have long said we should do on this show. Okay, if you're gonna troll, be a real troll instead of just copy and pasting some crap. By the way, I never realized that I sound like Alex Jones.
You kind of do.
I kind of do. I didn't know that.
Now that it's been pointed out.
Several dozen times. The first one I went, what are you talking about? Then it happened one time, like 27 more times, and I went, oh crap, there might be something to this. And indeed, I do kind of sound like Alex Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. At
You
any
know who I
moment.
blame for the Pittsburgh Steelers' awful start of the season? The government and Joe Biden. Words aren't real. Let's go.
He's gonna start pitching us supplements in the breaks.
You know how I stay this jacked? Mexican pizzas from Taco Bell.
No lawsuits, please. Though we can't survive a lawsuit.
No.
Please don't start accusing people of things, because I can't. handle that.
I'm not nearly as crazy as him, but apparently when I get good and revved up, I kind of sound like him.
Yeah. I mean, you're already going down that path. You've got the birds aren't real thing going. You always like to get your tinfoil hat out. The similarities between you and him are, wow, I never realized how strong they were.
Well, that's a debut.
That's right.
It's a lunchtime debut.
That's right. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We will be back with you tomorrow, same time, noon o'clock, right here in the Ingalls studio. Noon to 3, our brand new time slot here on ESPN Asheville. And we will see you then.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under mostly sunny skies, stray showers and storms pop in for the afternoon as we hit the low 80s today. Now for tonight, patchy fog rolls back in late, partly cloudy otherwise, low near 60. We keep that widespread fog with us early for Tuesday. Mostly sunny skies, slight chance of afternoon showers and storms and a high of 81. Wednesday, partly sunny, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. We go up to 77. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
Big blast of cooler weather coming our way late week, and this weekend is going to be delightful here across the mountains of western North Carolina, talking 40s and 50s for low temps this weekend. 61 degrees our low tonight in the valley. Afternoon thunderstorms tomorrow, 82. And then a big drop to the humidity Wednesday, Thursday, highs in the 70s, lows near 50 degrees in the valley Wednesday night, Thursday night. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. If you're like many people, you may think custom blinds is a job for expensive professionals. Well, at Blindster, if you have a tape measure and a screwdriver, you can install our custom blinds and save big. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. And right now, save 50% off any order during our Labor Day sale. Blindster.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is